All right, good morning, everyone. Welcome to Market Prep. I hope you guys are having an amazing morning. Hopefully, you guys had an incredible day yesterday. Good morning, Peter. How you doing today? I see you both got blue on, like we were for JP Morgan here. What's going on? Good morning to you.
We're color matched again this morning. Look at us go. All right. Well, yes, we got our corporate gear on apparently.
Yes.
Company issued shirts.
We're looking very Peter corporate-like, just like this right here.
There we go.
This is Corp Peter.
That's corporate me. Where did that come from?
I have no idea.
Okay.
It was in the VMix. I don't know who made that.
Okay.
All right, friends. Good morning. Good morning. Let's get to our gappers list, and we'll get to what's happening for this beautiful Thursday morning. Not weather-wise, it's snowing and icy over here, but our gappers list this morning. We got a couple of things in the green, a little bit in the red. So we'll dive into all of that. I see some airlines here gapping up today. I'm sorry, that's not airlines. That's United Under Armour. Wow, Under Armour. We used to trade that quite a bit. And some other ones on here that we'll get to. And then again, more earnings, and we'll dive into all of that. But Peter, take us through our U.S. economic calendar and what is going on there today.
Yeah, relatively light day on the economic calendar front. All the interesting stuff happens right now. So we have jobless claims that just came out. The initial jobless claims slightly higher than expected. So our jobless numbers are all over the place, right? So earlier this week, we saw lower new job openings, but now we're seeing more claims. So that's not good for workers when we got less jobs and more claims. But the jobless claims came out at 219,000 versus 214 expected. The continuing jobless claims was pretty much right on target. 1.87 was the expected, 1.88 was the actual. So again, a little higher. So not a great picture if you're looking for a job out there, but hopefully you're a trader and you've already got a job and you don't need one. U.S. productivity also came out. This was expected to see a 1.5% growth. It only saw 1.2% growth. So all in all, sort of a not a very encouraging economic picture this morning, but not hugely off. I see the markets not really doing much in reaction. A little bit of a downtick here on the SPY, but not by much. The only other thing happening today is that we've got one Fed speaker at 2:30. Waller is speaking, but again, not a major speaking engagement. So probably not going to be much of an impact. We can focus on earnings and just the stocks that are moving in the market. I was going to say without interference from the economic events. That being said, we have to keep in mind, right, in this administration, you just never know, right? We're always waiting for the next press release, the next tweet. Anything could happen out there in the markets. So just be careful whatever you're doing, because you never know what's going to happen. But based on the calendar, should be relatively quiet on that front.
Yeah, showing pretty quiet right now, but we'll see. That can change in an instant, as we have seen plenty of times in the past. All right, gappers list. Let's get to it. Let's start with what's gapping up this morning. We'll start with the QNTM. Let's take a look at what this is all about. So QNTM, we are up 43% right now. Lower flow stock at 1.5 million shares traded, so a little bit on the lower side. Over the last couple of days, you can see here we've been getting some good action on it, and today that is continuing. So great move by them here as they're pushing higher. Peter, Quantum Biopharma, what is this? Pharma, there it is. Yeah. Couldn't see the whole name. They're up on our list again. What are we doing here, and how's it going for them?
You say again? Did we see these guys before? Oh yeah, we did see them yesterday, didn't we?
Yeah, they were on yesterday. I think. What was it?
Quantum.
Was it something with cancer? They found it. Was it this one? I know you had one that said they cured cancer, or they were on their way. I can't recall if it was this one.
One limited form of cancer, but no, that's not these guys. These were the guys that were going to stop you from staying drunk for too long. They're the ones that
That's
were
not happening.
creating that thing called Unbuzzed that was supposed to you take this powder and then within 30 minutes you're undrunk. So anyways, they released some more news today that they raised some additional capital. So somebody likes this idea. I mean, we're not talking huge money, $10 million, which in the capital raising world is pocket change. If you go to a major bank and you say I'm looking to raise a bunch of money, and then you only asked for $10 million, that's probably not getting you very far. But anyways, they've already got $250 million worth of debt that they're working to pay down. So anyways, I guess it's good news that they raised another 10. But I don't know about this one. This feels like a dangerous thing that, you imagine that they're start selling this bar or something. I don't know, so that you can leave that doesn't. Anyways, I don't. The premise worries me, but anyways, look, if it creates a market opportunity, then I guess it's a good thing. But I didn't actually watch this. Did you take a look at it, Carlos? I don't know how this moved, but
No,
um,
I did not keep it on my list at all. Again,
yeah,
just our list, we have had so many other great things to look at. This didn't make it.
it looks like it actually had sort of a good trading day yesterday. I mean, it had good steady climb. It moved well right from the open, but yeah, I don't probably still not going to watch it today.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of it. All right, let's head down over to Peloton. Interesting stuff with what they're doing there. One can't wait to see how that works out. But
Hmm.
yeah, let's look at Peloton here this morning. We are up 17% today, 3.2 million shares traded. Again, a little bit of action here, as you can see in the pre-market. They're doing very well. Peter, what's going on with them today?
Yeah, so Peloton had sort of a mixed earnings report. They beat on revenue, but missed slightly on bottom line. Haven't really had a lot of good news stories for Peloton. That being said, their stock price, I'm surprised to see it up since August. It actually is up quite a bit. I remember when it was down at $3, I thought, they're done and gone, but apparently not. They're hanging in there. They did boost their guidance for the next quarter, so they actually think that there's some better times ahead. And their guidance is up over analyst forecasts. So yeah, we'll see how they do. Peloton's a long way away from the heady heyday of its the pandemic, when this was like one of the stocks. This and Zoom, remember when they were like the first ones out of the gate, and it was like they're
Yeah,
taking over the
yep.
world because everybody's biking in their basement. And now probably most of them are coat racks. Who's got a Peloton that's a clothing rack right now? I bet you there's a bunch of them. But yeah, you gotta go back, and we just have to look at Peloton's daily chart. You go back to 2020, 2021, you can see when the heyday hit, and when everything sort of fell off fell off. It's quite an epic chart. There you go. See,
Yeah, it's
that
it's
was
massive.
that was when things were fun
It's
back
massive.
there. Yeah. Now, not so much. So
170. Wow.
yeah,
That
oh
is
yeah, yeah. That's about
yeah.
right. That's where we were trading them, and then So okay, so great. They've moved from $7 to $8 or $9, but yeah, compared to the days when it was 170, yeah, it's not so much.
Yeah, not
Anyways.
so fun. I do like their pre-market activity today. How well they're going to trade, we'll have to see. But this pre-market action does look very nice this morning. Again, 3.3 million, up almost 18%. Now looking to get towards that high of the pre-market. I think they can take a spot here on our secondary list, right? So we'll put it on there. If anything, it can be a co-hanger for the rest of the other great tickers we're going to have on deck. But we'll see where that goes. All right, let's take a look here. The rest of our list this morning as we move down. Our NAS. RNAZ. Don't think I've heard of this one. TransCode Therapeutics seems to be the name. Yeah, what's the float on this? 340, no, sorry. No, 700,000 shares is what I'm showing on tradingterminal.com. You can see the daily here. Very, very messy. Peter, what's going on with this? Anything worth watching on this one, or something we're going to skip on today?
You know what? I mean, typical with these type of stocks, they've got a phase 1 clinical trial that is just about to close, and apparently with positive results. At least these companies always report positive results. Doesn't seem to matter what actually happens. They always try and report positive. So we had one yesterday, didn't we, where they reported positive results and then the thing tanked. So people who knew more than me looked at it and said, "Yeah, we're calling BS on this one." Anyways, they've got their TTXMC 138 drug that apparently is doing well.
All right. Not my typical type of stock, so again, won't be on my list. It looks very messy right now. We've been as high as 14, back down to 9, with some, again, lack of volume here. Hard to borrow as well, so just be mindful of that. All right, let's head over to TPR. TPR, that's it. TPR this morning, we're up 15%. We've seen this before, looking pretty good this morning. Decent volume. Again, 300,000 for them is a lot. They normally don't get great volume. But today you can see here they got a very, very nice pop. Peter, obviously some great news for TPR this morning as they're climbing higher here today.
Yeah, they're a luxury goods company, and they had earnings this morning. They beat on their earnings, top and bottom line, delivering 2.2 billion in revenue versus a 2.1 forecast, and $2 in earnings versus a $1.74. So actually, they did quite good, both top and bottom. They actually increased their guidance for 2025 as well. All of that being said, it's not going to make my list. Typically it doesn't trade very well. It gets about 4 million shares a day. Probably be higher today, but even so, I don't have a lot of hope. I think there's better things.
There sure is. Let's take a look as we move on down here, guys. Let's take a look at UAA, which is Under Armour, I believe. Yes, Under Armour this morning. We are up 8%, 886,000 shares traded. Lower price stock. Again, they don't trade all that well, Peter, but they're seeing a little love this morning as they're climbing out of an area where they seem to have been stuck for quite some time right here. So again, getting above that in the pre-market today, actually looking more active than we normally get out of this one.
This is the one that I used to like to trade a lot. Under Armour, they do have two tickers, by the way, if you're out there, UA and UAA. Usually UAA is the one that we look at because it gets more volume and is a little bit more active of a trader. They're just different classes of shares in case you're watching them both. But anyways, yeah, beat on revenue, 1.4 billion versus 1.34 forecast, and 8 cents a share earnings versus an estimated 3 cents. So they almost tripled their earnings per share. So that's a good result for Under Armour. I'm surprised that Under Armour has lower revenues than does Tapestry, but there you go. Anyways, Under Armour raised their 2025 guidance as well, said that they're seeing a very strong demand for their products, especially in North America and Asia, and are expecting another good quarter. So like I said, used to like trading this. This is another one, if you go back to 2020, 2021, was trading more in a fun tradable range, the $20 range. Ever since they've been down here at the $6 to $10 range, I just find I don't like the way it moves as much. So probably won't be watching this one either.
Yeah, not making the list. All right, continuing here, friends. Let's take a look at the next one. We have AZN. Again, another one that we've seen plenty of times. I'm not a big fan of this one either. So not a great list so far. What do we have on here? Just what do we have so far? Just Peloton on the secondary list. Here's another one. AstraZeneca. Again, many people like intraday trading. I'm sorry, swing trading this one, but intraday, I mean, just not pretty, Peter. And you can see it here in the pre-market as well. So, any news? We're up 4.4 today.
They're dual traded with London, so that always makes it a little tougher. They did have some decent earnings in the quarter. Another one that had earnings this morning. They beat on revenue. They didn't quite make their earnings per share. Forecast was $1.07. They only delivered $1.05. But it's close. It's within range there. That being said, they saw reduced sales in China, but overall are projecting growth. And I don't like it as a trader.
Yeah. All right. We are like 1 for 10 here. Let's go to the next one. Quantum QBTS this morning. Let's see QBTS and what we got going on here today. Wait, that's the daily? Doesn't look right. Is that why? What is this? You see this, Peter?
What
Well,
happened?
what's
Hey,
going?
what's up with that chart? I see that random thing way up there.
What? That's not
What
normal. All right,
what?
let me load this again.
Yeah, that's not
QBTS.
my chart. Doesn't look that way.
Yeah. What is that?
I don't know what that is.
QBTS. It's a trap. I
Yeah.
tell you.
What days are those? That's like
What?
December
Why is
the.
that? That is January 8th, and this is January 17th. So if it takes us out of the way,
Yeah, that is not what my chart looks like.
so
So I
you
don't know
don't
what's
have
going
these
on.
two, whatever this is up here.
I I do not.
That is
I
very
do
weird.
not.
Okay, how about you guys in chat? Do you
Yeah.
guys have that?
That's my
And
chart
you have
looks very
interactive
different.
brokers as well. You have the same thing I do.
Correct. Yeah. Yeah. I don't,
QBTS.
that's odd.
What
That's odd.
the?
That doesn't normally happen.
Yeah, look, QBTS, and I got the name. That is weird. Okay, very, very strange. All right. Okay. Yeah, and I knew right away. I'm like, wait, I mean, I've never seen that before. And we'll watch this ticker quite a bit. All right, so this morning, 3.2, we're up right now, 1.7 million shares traded. But again, I won't have it on my list until I figure out what the heck is going on here. But Peter, what's going on? Anything good on quantum or anything tech at the moment as far as these our Rigetti Spaghetti or any other ones that might be on here today?
Yeah, so there's look, there's been a lot of news about quantum, as we all know, where the CEO of Nvidia said that quantum is about 15 to 30 years away from being profitable. But since then, there's been a lot of counterpoint put to that. Gates was quoted in a podcast. I think it was late last week or over the week. It was over the weekend, I think, saying that quantum is a lot closer than we expect to see some value. And there's been people that have been resurfacing information. And I was looking at this yesterday. I'd have to go find it again. But right off the Microsoft website, if you look at the Microsoft Azure information, they've declared 2025 the year of quantum. In fact, they say it's the year to become quantum ready, and are quoting, in fact, the United Nations that apparently has declared 2025 is the International Year of Quantum Science and Technology. So, people are sort of saying, well, maybe Jensen is off there a little bit, and that quantum is going to have more value. Now, that being said, there's not an expectation that we're going to get quantum computers in our houses anytime soon, but there's going to be advances they expect to make it a little more relevant, and where we'll be able to learn some stuff that might inform the build of future compute devices. So, Carlos, look, quantum's not going away. Like, it feels like no matter what happens here, it's staying in the news cycle, and I'm all for it.
Yep.
We were talking about, well, QBTS looks horrible this morning. QUBT actually looks a little more interesting. And then we've got, of course, our good buddy that always gets the volume with our GTI, our spaghetti farm. So it's look, pick your favorite. Quantum can stay on your list, I think, because it keeps staying in the news cycle.
Yeah, yeah. I like these, man. RGTI can trade very well at times, so I'll probably add it to my secondary. Again, the pre-market does not look great. I'm with you, but these stocks keep coming back. We're trying to figure out what these two things are. Some of you guys are saying there are UFOs sitting up here on the charts, but yeah, I took a screenshot of it. I'm gonna restart because I think nobody else has this but me.
No,
So
that's weird.
that's concerning. So I'm gonna exit here. I'm just gonna come back in, and that'll be interesting to see why is that still there. So we'll go in here and let's take a look. QBTS.
Oh, look at that. See, that looks more
What
normal.
the? Okay.
That's odd.
That's not
All
cool.
right, you're
Like,
back.
what if? All right, I'm back. We're not going to get into
See,
conspiracy
as a trader,
theories.
doesn't that make you nervous when you know your chart can do?
It does,
wonky
because
things?
what if I would have never done that, never realized that, or I'm trading by myself and I think that's normal and it would have been closer to the price. Actually, obviously, that's pretty far out. This chart looked nothing like that. That is
Yeah.
wow. Okay. All right, guys.
Yeah.
Strange. Let's get what's going on here on our gappers list. Let's hop around a little bit. What else is good here? We got QBTS, SoundHound. Let's look at that one, and then Peter, we'll look at what you have on your end as far as gapping up this morning. So let's look at SoundHound. They were making a lot of noise yesterday. SoundHound making a lot of noise yesterday. Not intentional, but yeah, here they are right now. They are they're crappy, man. I don't see anything great, Peter. Anything you like on this one?
Not really. I mean, they just continue to somehow be on our gappers list in the morning. They continue not to move very well during the day. I mean, they're just on the verge for me, right? They're always on the edge of looking like they're going to be good. But I mean, just look at SoundHound at the open yesterday. Just take a look at a 1 or a 5 minute chart at the open yesterday, and it shows why SoundHound is just to me, it's a dangerous stock. I'm not sure, Carlos, if that's something you can bring up there, but
Which
we
one?
just look back to the open yesterday on SoundHound.
Oh yeah, yeah.
It shows why you got to be really careful on this stock, because just look at that, right? Like that you might think this is going to be moving somewhere, and just look at that chop, right? These wiki candles overlapping each other. It gets this initial drop that might give you hope, and you're thinking, oh, and then it's holding VWAP, and maybe it's going to go down, and then it doesn't, right? And it goes right back up to the open levels. To me, I look at that chart, and I'm like, danger. Alarms go off in my head, and I'm just like, yeah, I want to avoid this thing. So there's others that love it. Janine in the room is saying that she loves SoundHound, then you know what? It's all yours. I'll leave it to you. I'm not interested.
Yeah. Yeah, not fun. They can trade well. I'm not sure if today's going to be the day because we've seen them do some really cool stuff. Like, look at this here, December into January. We really were watching this almost every day. The moves were very big. You're not seeing that now. Also, look at the spikes in volume. That also makes a big difference. So, all right, we'll skip on this one today. I don't think it looks great.
That being said about this stock, the sector is still interesting, right? I mean, obviously this represents the AI stock, and there's a lot more, or the AI sector, and there's a lot more AI stocks out there. You can sort of take your pick. I mean, the news cycle hasn't stopped. I love the fact that now I can't tell you the number of little video vignettes, little ads, things I'm seeing where people are saying, if you're not using DeepSeek, you're missing out, right? You're using the wrong tools, and yeah, I'm like, dude, whoever produced this video, I will put $100 on the table. You hadn't heard of DeepSeek a week ago, right? Like, who talked about this before a week ago Monday?
You know who did,
Nobody.
Peter? I'll tell you someone who did. The CTO of Google. Nobody knows him, so
Okay.
nobody cared when he spoke about it. He spoke about it 6 months ago. He has in articles and
Okay.
videos and everything, but nobody knows him. Like, if you wanted to get it out, have the CEO of Google speak about it, and everybody would have known about it. But the
Yeah.
CTO, I don't even know the guy's name. Bald guy. Nobody cares. You know?
Well, and he should know, I guess. I mean, that would be his job.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, it blows my mind. Like, it's a good reminder of the fact that everybody loves to jump on
Oh
the
yeah.
bandwagons here. And if you're seeing all the articles now about the value that DeepSeek will provide, and how you need to, if you're looking at AI at all, you got to look at that, or whatever tool. Just always take it with a little bit of grain of salt, because again, I mean, can you think of anybody that was talking about it, more than a week and a half ago? Like,
No.
no, like over the weekend, it suddenly exploded, and now
Everybody's an
everybody,
expert.
says, yeah, I was there before it was popular. I've been using this for 2 months. No, you haven't. Come on, you didn't even know it existed.
I'm with you, man. I'm with you 100%. Get off my lawn. All right, awesome stuff, guys.
Right.
So there it is. So there's the gap up. Peter, I think we kind of went over a lot here. Anything else you like as far as gapping up before we get to our gap down list today?
We have a ton of earnings. Look, I don't want to go over them all. The only other one, oh, actually, it just went red. So I think we talked about all of the earnings that were gapping up that I wanted to. I'll just mention earnings that I'm not going to cover. I don't think we're going to cover it on the gap up or gap down. Like Philip Morris PM Internet. PM is the ticker symbol. Philip Morris International had earnings this morning. We had Honeywell that had earnings. We won't talk about that. HON is the ticker there. Yum Brands, they're sometimes fun, but YUM is the ticker. This is Yum. This is Yum North America, because I think the Asia Yum Z is Yum Z is that one. Any Ralph Lauren Corporate. Like, there's a whole bunch of earnings out there this morning, but none of those are good traders. ConocoPhillips, anyways, I can go on. Carlos, one that you might like that I thought I would mention because I haven't actually seen the data yet. Roblox had earnings. I know that's a house favorite, but are they on our gap down list? Oh, they are. We'll get to them in a minute. All right. You're on mute, Carlos.
Oh, yeah, sorry. Yeah, I heard about this, and they're getting slammed today. We'll talk about that on the gap down list. All right, friends, let's get to our gap down list this morning.
You went on mute again. What happened?
I went on mute? Why is that happening?
Now you're back.
Okay, there we go. All right, so let's take a look here on, oh, you know what? There might be a setting change. I'll have to check that in a second. All right, so gapping down this morning. First one on the list, SWKS. So let's take a look at this one today. And we are down this morning 26%, 1 million shares traded right now. So again, big gap down for Skyworks Solution. As far as trading it, I'm not a big fan of this one. Trades very choppy, but today could change everything. Today they have a nice big gap down. They have the volume. Peter, what's your thoughts on this one, and what's driving them down today?
Well, they had, it looks like they are facing significantly increased competition from Apple. So Apple is to blame, apparently. Let me just, I'm trying to get the details of the article. I have this headline that says, Skyworks is down and Apple's to blame. But anyways, they had a number of earnings downgrades and analyst downgrades. This is a chip maker, right? But not one of the ones that we follow. We only see them like once every quarter. And they have seen a significant decline in their earnings because they are a supplier to Apple. So Apple is to blame because they are not getting as much business out of Apple. Not only because Apple's sales were lower than expected, but they've actually reduced the number of chips that they're buying from Skyworks. And Carlos, I don't know, should I go now? Is this the time, since we're blaming Apple?
Go for it.
Can I take a moment, everybody? I know we're talking about stocks here, but because I talked about this, there's another, Apple's also down this morning, and I think I know the reason why. Have you ever bought chargers for your car? You never notice that they stop working very quickly? I've never figured out why. The CarPlay chargers die very quickly. I have to keep buying new ones because they'll charge your phone forever, but they don't work for CarPlay for very long. I guess they just degrade fast enough that they stop providing that function. Anyways, my wife will not drive. She's been living in this city since she was 5 years old, and yet she will not drive anywhere without her GPS on. So when they stop working, I have to buy new cables, which I did the other day. And then, anyways, our niece needed a new phone, so it was an opportunity for my wife to upgrade her phone and give her old phone to her niece. So she went from an iPhone 11, which uses the what is it called? The Lightning charger plug, to an iPhone 15, which was great, except it uses a USB-C plug. And now I've got to buy all new cables. So not only do the cables degrade fast, now I have to buy all new cables because they changed the damn charge plug. Carlos, go.
Yeah.
Now I'm all.
Yeah.
I understand your pain now.
I was there 2 years ago. Yep, 100%.
Yeah.
It makes no damn sense.
Because I've got an iPhone 14, and I didn't realize that was the last generation with the Lightning plug. And now my wife just has the 15, and now like the two of us both have iPhones. We can't even share cables.
Yeah.
Like
they could have had this resolved a long time ago, or everybody else in the world, but no, they want a Lightning cable for what? Makes no sense.
Yeah.
Peter, I'm with you 100%.
Yeah. See,
Yeah,
now,
yeah.
Like, you've calmed down about it. See, now I'm like 2 years behind you here. Now
Yeah.
now I'm all look at see both of these.
Yeah.
Damn it.
Yeah. Absolutely, man. I trust me, I get it. All right, friends.
Anyway, all right.
Let's get to it. So this morning we're going to look at what's gapping down. So that's SWKS. I'm not sure how great that's going to be today. I don't like it as much. Let's take a look at SDA today. This morning is the next one on here. SDA, as far as we can see, down 26%, 526,000 shares traded. Pre-market, Okay. Uh, daily, not great. I'm not sure about the Suncar Technology, Peter. So I'm probably gonna keep it off my list. A lot here does not look great. Look at this daily. That is as bad as we've seen in a very long time. It's Barco all the way to July. Yeah, I'm not looking at this. Peter, any reason why this is moving today?
I, they had a secondary offering. It looks like they're raising some cash. They're issuing more Class A shares, about 50 million more, which is about yeah, 1,071,429 Class A shares. Why do they always issue these weird numbers? Like, why not just issue like 1 million or anyways, all right, whatever. That's how many they've issued. So yeah, it's a cash raise. I don't know what a weird. They call themselves the Suncar Technology Group. They're listed in they're a car dealership. They're a car dealership in China that I can't tell what they do because their website is entirely in Chinese and Google does not seem to have a translate for it. But it looks like they basically sell used cars and run car washes, and yet they have the audacity to call themselves a technology group. Anyways, all right, never mind. I'm just moving on. They're not worth talking about.
Look at these fun examples of sun cars. That could be very interesting. So, what is it, like a solar panel car? Is this, that's what I'm assuming, right? It's going to get charged as you
I don't.
run.
I
That
don't
would be,
even think they
yeah,
do that. I don't know. I can't tell. Their website's
yeah.
all in Chinese. I can't read it. So
Well, for that reason, we are not watching this one. At least I'm not. That looks brutal. Let's get to a fun one today. Let's look at our Roblox, RBLX. So let's see what's going on here. I mean, they're not having fun today. Big drop here, guys. Down 18%, 6.7 million shares traded. I will have this on my list because I love trading these guys when they're in play. They actually have treated them very well. So yeah, I'll be watching this one. Peter, obviously not having fun today at Roblox as we are going to this deep dive at the moment.
look, Carlos, man, you got to get on this. Well, I don't know what your daughter's doing out there, but she is not spending enough money with Roblox. So, and not as active. Look, they missed on revenue quite significantly. Interestingly, they didn't. They were supposed to lose money. They didn't lose as much money as expected. They're expected to lose 46 cents a share. Only lost 33, so that's the only bright spot. However, the big concern is that they have a gloomy forecast and their number of daily active users significantly missed expectations. So, what's going on, Carlos? Why are people not on the platform as much?
We
I'm expecting
we
you to know.
well, we're back to school, so kids are not on as much as they would be in the
Okay.
summertime. Plus, my kids, man, they're just completely switched to the Minecraft. Minecraft is
Hmm?
taking over. We've been to a couple of parties. It's all Minecraft. I don't think Minecraft is publicly traded. A lot smaller than Roblox for sure. And that's what's hot right now. It's all Minecraft. So Roblox has
So,
been thrown to the side.
yeah. So remember how Roblox was bringing in a bunch of partners, and they were bringing in some. Who were they bringing in? I can't remember now.
Some about artists. What's in the
Yeah, some like
I
rap and
forgot.
R&B artists
Yeah,
and
yeah,
stuff.
yeah,
And then they were bringing in a cosmetics firm or something. Anyways, they
yeah.
were trying to target older players, older users, and bring them in the platform. Seems like that is not working for them, anyways. So, but to your point, it feels like Roblox is maybe a good opportunity today. It's certainly in play pre-market. Almost 7 million shares traded so far, and I mean, just look at the drop off. It had actually been moving up quite consistently over the last couple of months on the daily, and this is like a big drop down 18% almost. So yeah, I think this is actually making my list. It looks enticing.
Yeah, no, I definitely like it. Will be on my list as well. Question over on YouTube: is Dash Trader Pro? Is it possible to have the trend lines showing in front of the candles instead of behind? It's a great
Yes.
question. Is there a way to
Yes,
do
it
that?
is.
That's
Yes, the
awesome, man.
order that it shows on your chart is dependent on the order of the studies in on the screen. So if you right click on the chart, we'll do a technical session here real quickly. If you right click on the chart, go to study config, Carlos. Yeah, bring that up if you could right on the screen. We'll show people. The order that the studies are listed here on the chart is the order that they'll appear. So right now, Carlos has got the candles. The candles will always be front and center. If you took the moving average and see how it's got the move up, move down buttons at the bottom. So just for argument's sake, Carlos, take the 9 moving average or whatever. Yeah, just highlight it. And then, yeah, and whatever, if you click move up, you can move it up and down the list. Whatever is at the top of the list will appear on the top. So notice now his moving average is on top of the candles. So there you go. So change that order. It changes what goes front and what goes back.
Look at that. Learn something new, man. That's just awesome.
See?
So
There
many
you
great
go.
things you could do with this program. There's
Yep.
just tons, man. I
And
think I'll
it's one
never
of those
learn
things
everything this
they,
program can do, you know?
well,
It's
that's it.
just,
And there's not like they've got user guides and stuff, but like that's one of those things where they don't actively explain it.
right.
You just need to either figure it out by accident or have someone else tell you. So there you go. There's your tech tip for the day.
There you go. All right, friends. So yeah, Roblox on my list, guys. Looks good today. I think it'll be in play, and yeah, we'll see where this goes. Every time we have this on in the charts, it on my list, it does trade very well. So looking forward to that one. All right, heading over to ARM, and we have QCOM next as well. So let's take a look at ARM this morning. ARM is man, look at this daily. That is nice. So we are down today though, down 5.6, 525,000. But this comes after a really nice day yesterday. So could be interesting today. I know Nvidia is doing some stuff. We haven't spoken about that one yet, but we could see that here is it wasn't gapping up above 2%. This is why we did not have it on our list, but it's getting there. It is up 1.8, 9.7 million shares traded. So I'd rather watch this one than ARM, unless ARM has some separate news, Peter, because they're down this morning. So why are they down and Nvidia up? Very interesting.
Yeah. Well, they're another one of our earnings play. So they had a good quarter. They beat top and bottom line, so a good quarter. However, their guidance, there's a typical story here that we're seeing this morning, right? A lot of companies are guiding lower for the first quarter of 2025. ARM is one of them. So their guidance did not meet analyst expectations. And now that being said, they are just at the low end of analyst expectations, right? They actually tightened up their guidance, and they forecast earnings of between 48 and 56 cents a share. Analysts expected around 53 cents. So unfortunately, if you take the midpoint of their forecast, we're only sitting at about 52 cents. So they're just slightly below analyst expectations, which is why ARM is dropping.
All right, that makes sense. You know what? The more I look at it now, it actually looks interesting. Yeah,
Doesn't
actually, I'm
look
gonna
that
add it on
bad, does
here.
it?
No, it doesn't look that bad, and I actually like that catalyst as well. So I'm gonna add both of them, ARM and Nvidia. They're both going different directions, but I think they're worth putting on the list here
I,
today.
I think we got one coming up that you might like better. So, but we'll see.
All right, let's take a look. Next on here is going to be QCOM. Let's see what QCOM is up to today. We are down 5.8 right now, 652,000 shares traded. Daily showing some activity as well in the pre-market here. So, Peter, what's driving this one today?
Well, this is the one that I thought you might like a little better. Once again, earnings, they beat their numbers in the quarter, so a good past quarter. But as we know, the stock price moves based on what the future expectations are. Here with Qualcomm, the headline is pretty much that their licensing unit has a very low forward-looking guidance. Their forecast is a lot lower than analysts were expecting, and that's got some concerns that it's going to weigh on their earnings, despite the company saying that they believe they're going to be able to meet their next quarter forecast. So this licensing business unit is acting as a drag on the company, and we're seeing it gap down this morning. So Qualcomm is one that when they are in play, I do sort of like the earnings. Now, that being said, I mean, ARM is trading about the same volume as Qualcomm so far this morning, but my experience has been that Qualcomm, when it sort of gets moving, will end up trading better volume than ARM. But so that's where I'd place my bet. If I was going to pick one of the two, and I am going to pick one of the two, I'll be watching Qualcomm more closely.
Yep, yeah, absolutely. Another question, and actually, I do like Qualcomm too, man. So I see all of these staying on here today. So I'm gonna add Qualcomm as well here. So I have Roblox, ARM, Nvidia, and Qualcomm for my main list, and then on my secondary list we have Peloton. I'm gonna update that banner in just a second here. So the question was, why do we have our what is this? Our VWAP on the daily chart. We have it here just because sometimes I switch like this to the 5 minutes, so I want to see the 5 and the 1, but I don't use it on the daily. To me, it doesn't make any sense on the daily. So it just shows up because it's part of the settings, right? But it's not something we're using to actually calculate the VWAP because it doesn't work that way. All right. Okay, just a few more here in the gap down list. We have Ford, which again, just we know, you guys know how we feel about this one. Trade's horrible. I don't like it at all. Barely any moves. So it is down today though, Peter. So feeling some heat. Is this on earnings or is this anything else? Politics, policies? What's driving Ford down today? Tariffs? I mean, it could be anything at this point.
It could be, but it is earnings. They, once again, like a lot of companies, had a good quarter, so they beat top and bottom line. And Ford, as we know, Ford, you trade for pennies, right? It does not move very much. It's a tough thing to trade here. They actually had earnings after the close yesterday, and they had very weak guidance in the forward-looking quarter. They're expecting a downturn in auto sales, and they've also forecasted they're going to lose $5.5 billion in their EV sector. So, like this is, look, they've struggled with the EVs. Anybody that's bought a Ford Lightning, a Ford F-150 Lightning, knows that it's been fraught with challenges. Anybody out there own one? Yeah, you've probably felt the pain. Anyways, they have struggled compared to most of the major automakers. Their EV division really has underperformed, and they continue to lose tons of money. Now, that being said, they're expecting to make most of that money up in the other divisions. Like they've got some strength, but this is not one of their key ones. So, Matt K owns a Gen 2. Have you had any problems with it? Is it working? Does it run? So
does it run? I hope.
40 recharges to drive a Lightning with a camper 2,000 miles. So you get 50 miles out of it per charge with a camper? Wow, that doesn't sound very good.
That's not gonna
Anyways,
work, man.
Yeah, it's crazy. Anyways, whatever. Look, Ford, I don't know. Like, I always want Ford to trade well, just because it's in an interesting sector, and I keep hoping it's going to move, but it has let me down almost every single time I've watched. Now, I used to trade this, and I think that's why I've got a soft spot for it. When I started trading, I loved like the low moving stocks that, they only moved a couple of pennies. I felt safe in trading them. And I had some great trades on it because I could take huge size with very low risk. But I haven't watched it for a while, and I think I've moved on to other things. So.
Yeah, I definitely not gonna watch that at all. All right, let's. I think we'll stop here. I think that kind of covers our gap up and down. Did we miss any good one, Peters? Anything that you want to go over that maybe we haven't talked about?
Let's see. What have we got that we haven't talked about? EY Lilly, LLY, another one with earnings that is gapping down this morning. They're only down about 1.2%, which is why they wouldn't have made our list. They beat top and bottom line, but have a weak guidance. So that's another one I look at sometimes, but probably with all the other things that we've got to watch, won't be a great trader. Obviously just talked about Ford, ARM, Qualcomm. Yeah, I think we hit all the highlights I wanted to talk about. Other than stuff that's on the Gappers list because of earnings, I did want to mention Tesla. Tesla continues to be a good trader. It had another sort of down day yesterday, but it was actually a decent trade if you caught Tesla and just rode it down the mountain. You could have had a good day on it. It was just pretty steadily down and more down. So, and you can see that today looks like it's going to be continuing that trend, right? Remember when this was a 420 stock? Yeah, that seems like it's well in the rearview mirror, at least for the time being. So we're at the low end of its range, and it looks like we're heading lower. So I'm going to keep an eye on Tesla for today. I sort of jokingly mentioned Apple, but Apple had a couple of good days, and things were looking positive, but for a while. But now I'm thinking that may be over. I don't know if Apple's going to do anything interesting today. I mean, there's no particular reason to expect it to, and volume is actually very low here pre-market on Apple, but I can't help but watch that as well. So other than that, Carlos, if we want to watch the other Magnificent Seven, right, Meta, Microsoft, NVIDIA, pick your favorite and watch it. They are sort of gapping up and down respectively. NVIDIA's got some decent volume today. But I mean, it always does. It's just a little more. Normally, we'd see about what 6 or 8 million of volume. We're sitting
Yeah,
at
yeah.
11 million this morning, so it's definitely active.
It sure is. I like the where they're sitting here on the daily too, right? We got this little island we had when we gapped down, so I'm looking for hopefully a break into this gap fill here, and we'll see where it goes. But pre-market action looks good, so we'll keep an eye on it. It's gonna be on my main list today. So far I have guys Roblox, ARM, Nvidia, QCOM, or Qualcomm, Tesla, and I'm gonna be adding. Oh, I do have Apple already in the secondary. Yeah, that's the list right there. So not bad so far to start this day. Let's take a look at what you guys like this morning. I saw some tickers being thrown out there like Meta, another one of our magnificent seven. Meta's getting a little toppy here, right? So we had a huge breakout over above 700 all the way up to, we'll call it 718, could be a little higher. And then slammed down yesterday, and we're back at above the previous day close. So I'm still going to watch. It's a very interesting stock. I mean, this thing has been on fire, but it's going to be more of a secondary for me, right? So put it on the secondary list here for now, and we'll see where it goes. Meta is always great to watch, always gives us good opportunities, but you got to watch it, right? Like pre-market action looks dead right now. You still got to put it on your list because we've seen that type of dead pre-market action before. Look at it yesterday. That's a great example. Let me show you the pre-market yesterday. I mean, there's nothing here. And look at this great pop, right? So again, did trade very well at the market open. All right, friends, MSTR is one that we look at quite a bit. So MSTR this morning, pretty quiet right now. So I'm not seeing anything great on it. Volume is very light. We'll have to wait for the market open, right? They had this nice big drop here a couple of days ago. They recovered nicely from that all the way above this level of so much support they're seeing here. We'll call this 336. Yeah, just got to watch it and see if at the market open you're going to get the volume and what type of action you're going to get on it today. Where's Bitcoin, Peter? Are we still above? Are we still below 100,000? I haven't checked in a while what that looks like.
Yeah, that's a good question. We were bouncing around that over the last couple of days. Right now, we're just sitting below it. 98,427 is the current price for a Bitcoin. Yeah, we've been sort of all around that. Earlier this morning, I don't know. We weren't quite there. We were at 99.2 was the high this morning. So, but anyways, look, MicroStrategy. We were talking about this yesterday. Apparently, they're just called Strategy now.
Oh,
So
yeah.
they're
Okay.
still updating all their information. They've changed their logo. Their logo is now the word strategy with like a little Bitcoin exponent after it. Apparently,
Mm-hmm.
the old MicroStrategy. We were talking about this yesterday. It was a little 1990s. I mean, the company apparently was founded in 1989, and their logo reflected it. So now they want to be called Strategy. This is like how many companies have we seen that have rebranded themselves that
Yeah.
now I want to be called KFC now. I'm not Kentucky Fried Chicken or whatever. Like they've gone just to the acronym. IBM is just IBM. And anyways, there's a long, proud history of these. But I noticed that a lot of our data hasn't updated yet. Sorry, if wants to be called Star Lord. Yes, call me Star Lord. Anyways, you know what? I guess if you're a company, you get to do this. But yeah, this was one of the announcements that they had yesterday that they have rebranded themselves to Strategy, and with
Yeah.
that new logo. So, you know, it's
Rebranding is good, man. Rebranding, give it a fresh look. I told my son about a week ago, I don't want to be called Dan anymore. I want to be called Your Worship, and he laughed, whatever. Now this after your court thing, right? And then the next day he calls me, Dad. Oh, Dad, I forgot to call you Your Worship. I'm like, son, I was only kidding about that. But yeah, it's so funny, man. He's calling me Your Worship. I love it. All right, friends, let's take a
okay.
look. Over on our chat here, we have Andy. Andy giving us Hood. Let's take a look at Robinhood today. I love the daily. I'm not sure about this one, man. It has let me down, me personally, plenty of times. So just be careful. There is a lack of volume right now as well. You're not getting much pre-market action. So I don't see it in play. I see what you're looking at. The daily possible breakout could happen. I just don't think you're going to get that explosive volume, especially if you're looking for like a momentum type play. You might not see that. But man, Robinhood doing all right, doing okay. Look at this daily, Peter. They're rocking here. So not bad,
Yeah,
not bad. Yeah, they
I'm
figured
actually
something out.
surprised they've got these steady rises that they've had. I mean, they've had a couple of little bits of good news, but frankly, nothing huge. Looks like they are people are expecting them to have some positive outcome from the Super Bowl. Do they have a Super Bowl ad coming? Have you noticed this year there's a trend, by the way, that they're releasing Super Bowl ads early? They're trying to get a
Yeah.
little bit of advance buzz, so they won't be a surprise at the Super Bowl. You can actually watch. I've already seen. I don't know. I've seen about half a dozen maybe Super Bowl ads. Isn't there like there's a Hellman's ad and there's a few, anyways, there's a bunch of them that I seem to run across that they look like big Super Bowl ads. Anyway, so we'll see what happens in the broadcast. Who's going to be watching the Super Bowl? Anyone? I love it how to me this is a very American thing. This is a very American thing for me, right? You get a team, and whenever you get a team that comes into preeminence, that like just sort of is the number one, everybody wants to take it down. So now it's very fashionable to be a Kansas City hater, right? Everybody wants Kansas City to lose. It feels like, unless you live in Kansas City. So
Yeah, it's pretty much it.
It's so
I mean,
American to me. It happens,
Peter, if
every
you
time.
are a Patriots fan, like if you're a big Patriots
Right.
fan, you definitely want these guys to lose. You're not even in the picture. You're not even in the game, but you don't want them beating
But-
your precious Tom Brady era, right? You don't want that.
But-
And they're about to
But
crush
that's
that
the
right
thing,
now.
right? Like,
Yeah.
if you weren't a diehard Patriots fan, when the Patriots were at the top, everybody wanted them to lose, right? Like, it's just
Yeah.
it happens over and over. I don't care what sport it is or what team. It's a very American thing that as soon as one team, has control at the top, everybody wants to take them down. They love
Yeah.
knocking people off of pedestals. Anyways,
One big example of that was when Michael Jordan retired. Everybody hated Michael Jordan. I mean, you know how many people he stopped from getting a championship? Good players, Charles Barkley, that never saw a final championship because Michael Jordan was in the way of those 6 years.
Well,
They hated him.
Right.
Now they love him after he's retired.
But-
So
but
it's an
it's
American
the way
thing.
it goes, right?
Yeah.
People loved him on the way up because he was aggressive and he was like a super alpha player. And then as soon as he got to the top, everybody's like, he's over aggressive and it's just too much, right? Take him down. So anyways, they love to be a haters. So anyways, all right. So
Absolutely.
whether you're watching the Super Bowl or not, you know what? It invokes passion. So one way or the other, you go.
You do you. That's what we will say here.
Yeah, you do you. I know my son is like, he's oddly a big football fan, which I find odd being a Canadian living in Scotland. But he started his cooking last week for his Super Bowl party. Keep in mind, his Super Bowl party starts at 11:30 p.m. So that's dedication because he's up till 3 a.m. watching the game. Apparently he's got the week off the next week. It's a holiday, I guess. A week off of school anyways in Scotland, so he's got an excuse. But yeah, he's actually got a bunch of people coming to his place and throwing a Super Bowl party in Scotland, starting at midnight. So all power to him.
All power to him. All right, friends, let's take a look at what's happening here in our community. We'll look at our webinar over at bearwithchairs.com. You can always see what's taking place. Today is Thursday, so a big mentorship day for us. Let's show you what's happening.
Yeah. If we're looking at the community, let's start somewhere different. If I could ask your worship, maybe we could go to take a look at our big strategy conference that's coming up. Guys, at the end of March, we are all converging on Vancouver, and we are going to be there for our live trading summit. We are really looking forward to this. We do this once a year. We used to do multiple sessions throughout the year, and we realized it was really diluting our focus. So we're putting all of our energies into this one session, and it's really, really a great conference. Last year, we had a lot of fun with it. This year, we've made it even bigger and better. More talk. We've got 2 full days of just trading talk. We've got an opening day that's going to talk about overall sort of performance, peak performance, what that looks like using the TEDx talk format. So it's like a private TEDx that we're putting on just for you traders. It's a great 3-day session. If you have the opportunity to join us in Vancouver, strongly consider it. If nothing else, you get a chance to hang out with a bunch of traders for 3 days, and that's always fun. I'm telling you, if you've never hung out with a bunch of traders, like if you're new to trading or never gone to a live event, there is always somebody who's going to suggest something probably unrecommended to do. So if you want to stay safe, you can stay with us in the in the event center, and we've got our own party. Andrew's booked out a nightclub if you want to go to a safe environment and do that. We got that. Or I promise you, someone's going to be putting on a field trip that you may or may not want to go on, including there's a ski trip happening after the whole thing that people have already coordinated. I'm telling you, there's tons of stuff going around it. So if you're interested, the Live Trading Summit, place to go, check it out. It's happening March 29th to 31st in Vancouver. You won't be disappointed. It's a great event. All right. So today, though, in the community, we got to go quick. I realize we're behind time. We've been talking a lot this morning. That's my fault. Thursday. So it is Thursday. I haven't got confirmation. We are changing up our schedule, everybody, and we're rejigging. This is sort of the week where we're moving everything. So I believe all this is still happening, which means that we've got 4 mentorship sessions. As far as I know, John, if you're out there, you can let me know. But his session should be going at 11 o'clock in the webinar room as usual. I know that Jared is going to be doing the options trading session at 2 p.m. It is happening, but he'll be running it solo because Megan is going to be in the chat room managing that. While Lenny and Pierre, I believe, are still doing their session at 4, and for certain, I know that Thor is going to be doing his 8 p.m. session. So there you go. It's our usual slate of webinars happening tonight. If you want to join us at Bearable Traders within the community and be here for live trading all day, every day, then you want to go to our website, bearabletraders.com, check out the membership options. You can join using the intro right up to the Elite Annual. Pick the one that you like best and go with that. All right, Carlos. We got to move fast here. I realize we are way behind today.
Yep, no worries, man. We'll get to it. All right, guys, quick levels here. Let's start with Roblox. As we get to live trading, we're 4 minutes away from it. 50.69. Actually, you know what? I'm going to skip Roblox. I'm going to do the 2 that I really like. NVIDIA is looking great, and Tesla. We'll do those 2. Tesla here, high of the pre-market, 127.24, looks awesome. Going into this gap, we do have another level at 129, and then we have another level here at 153. This looks great. Highs and lows for the last 2 trading days towards the bottom here. This is my favorite ticker this morning. We'll be looking at that one front and center. And the next one that I like the most is Tesla, guys. Tesla is looking really nice as we make a new low here. Low of the pre-market, 370.02, and then towards the top, you pretty much cover highs and lows for the last 2 trading days. And then just one more level towards the bottom in case we get going here. That's going to be at 361.27. So there you go, friends. All right, we have our good buddy Thor is going to be joining us live. We have Brian and Thor. Let me get Thor a new link so he doesn't kick off Brian. Brian, good morning. How are you today?
Good morning, and good morning, everybody. I'm doing well. Thank you.
All right, awesome.
Ready to rock and roll.
That's great, man. Glad to hear that.
Thank you, Your Worship, for leading us this morning. I appreciate that.
Awesome.
I like calling you that now.
Yeah, right.
And,
but when I found out you called your lawyer's stat, I mean your judge's stat, that's funny. Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, I didn't know that either till I showed up in court, and that's what they called her. So maybe that was just her. Maybe she demanded.
Maybe that was just her, Peter. She just wanted to be called that.
Yeah, it could be. I really don't know the difference. I'll have to go to another. I'll have to get myself into court again and find out.
Don't do that, Peter. Don't do that.
No? All right.
Well, maybe not. Court.
Okay.
So we're getting a bit of a bid on QCOM as we go into the open here. ARM does seem to be going the other way. So we'll be looking for ARM for possible rising devil trades. So we'll see if it pops up a bit at the open and take that opportunity to short it.
Right. I just heard back from John. By the way, we will not be doing the 11 a.m. mentorship, so just be aware that that's not on today, but we'll be doing the 2 o'clock options one. All right, guys, we got to get ready for this open. I got my stocks I'm watching. Should be fun.
All right, good morning, Thor.
Morning. How's it going?
Good morning. Good morning, Thor.
How's it going? How's my favorite prophet of profit this morning?
Good. We're doing okay. We're getting ready to roll here. Got ARM up on Bookmap. It's got some orders to the downside. NVIDIA still looks strong. NVIDIA's got from what I can see, NVIDIA's got a pretty significant level of resistance around 129. And Tesla's got a pretty significant area of support here right now where we're at 373. So here we go. Ding, ding, ding. See what happens.
I'm actually watching Tesla at the open to see if it comes down to like this, kind of pre-market low to see if it holds down there and tries to buy. Otherwise, for Nvidia, I kind of want to watch and see if it, how it opens up as well. Because I don't really know, man, about the market today. I still feel like we had news come out earlier today. Nobody cared, right? So it just seemed to be the thing anymore. But we'll see what's going on here.
We had the employment numbers, right?
Yeah, but the market reaction was relatively mute, which is fine. So a lot of selling right at the open, which is
Yeah.
kind of what I'm looking for. Else, not Tesla exploded, but the market itself started to sell quite a bit.
I don't like the spread on ARM. It's kind of it's like about 60 cents. So I'm not really keen on this, and it's jumping around quite a bit. So Tesla rejected right at yesterday's low, and Nvidia's selling off. No grades yet. I'm just waiting. I'm looking at OKLO. It's kind of trying to maybe break out here.
Hey, good morning, Ian, over in
Yeah,
YouTube. Good to see everyone over
Tesla.
there. Good to see everybody over in YouTube this morning. I'll try and do my best to pop back and forth and talk to everybody. I'm watching Disney here. Disney had a big move yesterday, and just pulled right back to R3, which is basically our ATR high off of pre-market low already. So I'm going to kind of see if it offers kind of like this value area here, if we can get a bit of a little bit more sell on this one. It sold pretty good yesterday. I was hoping maybe this thing will sell a little bit more. So we'll keep an eye on it and see what happens right here. I like the area.
Keeping an eye on Tesla. Still looks a little choppy right here. I'm gonna go short on it. Short Tesla.
Nice. The order book looks a little bearish too, so I like that idea.
There is a big order at 370. It's always a little choppy. Most of the stocks are choppy at the open, so
When we pulled back and offered there, a seller came in and hit really hard on Tesla. So
yeah,
that looked pretty good for you. Order book looks a little bearish right now. So if
yeah,
they can
still got
drive
big
through this
orders.
buyer, it'll be nice.
Yeah. As I said, this 373 level is a pretty major support. So it's violated that. Doesn't mean it can't come back up. And I'm not liking the fact that it's bouncing off there.
AMD up near R3. AMD had a really large movement to the top side on actually fairly low volume for such a large engulfing bar. It was not very much volume. The order book is a little bullish though. It'd be might not be ready for a short yet here. I like the absorption and I like the low volume on the big engulfing. As far as like making the move look disingenuous. I'm just wondering if the book's still a little too strong. Looks like they still want to go up. All right, there we go. They're buying premium now on AMD, so they're pushing it higher. See if we can get all the way up to this level.
Come on, Tesla. Let's see a flush here. There we go. Bit of volume coming in on this push down. Liking that.
Absorption and rejection right off of R3 there.
It's definitely a buyer sat there at around 370.
AMD's bringing in bid, so it might go short here. How's your Tesla looking? Still kind of chopping here.
Yeah, still kind of chopping.
When the buyer came in at 933, when the buyer came in, it was very weak. Like they couldn't engulf at all. Right now, this seems to fit more of an advancing pattern to the downside volume wise. And the bid's heavy.
Yeah, wow. Geez, look, Nvidia's selling off. Didn't really find any support on that pullback. Uber's popping up here. Interesting. Okay, here we go. There's the volume. That's what I wanted to see.
There you go.
There we go. Playing with I'm short using options, by the way. Just
there you go, buddy.
370.
Here it goes.
375 puts. Yeah.
I told you, bearish ladder, advancing volume to the downside. It looked like it was going down.
Yeah.
That was very nice. Lovely. What good hold, bud.
Yeah. A little dicey there, but yeah, I got in on those puts at $8. Now they're at $9.20, selling some. Okay.
Here we go. So I actually shorted AMD up at R3. So I got short around 112.13. So I'm holding that position right now to see if it goes. You can see this here. So I was specifically watching for an R3 short here. This R3 responded very nicely, and the main reason I got interested on this short was you in YouTube out there. Y'all probably heard me calling out the low volume on this engulfing candle. So as we made this very large bar, right, our volume was significantly smaller than I would have expected. So and then when we started chopping, and every time we offered premium, we'd start to sell a bit. Once we wicked and swept through R3 and grabbed that sell side liquidity, I went short and threw my stop right above the high of day. So we're going to come down here and offer the open price, and if we get a lot of buying coming in here at the open, I'll probably cover this position out. But if as long as we hold here and we continue to advance lower, the order book is bearish, and we've got good selling heading to the downside. So I'm feeling pretty good about this target. So otherwise, I'm going to kind of just hang on here. I also pulled a short on Disney as well when it squeezed up into R3. I ran this stop a little wide because I wasn't quite sure on it. So between the two, let's see if we can get ourselves paid here. We already got our profit paid. Sounds like you're having a lobster day
There
already.
you go.
So
Yeah, took a more off there at 970 on the put. Yeah, and and the reason I'm trading options on this, so you just get a better bang for your buck. I still see more orders to the downside on Tesla, so I think this S3 level is kind of acting as support now, but hoping we get another leg down here.
yeah, your buy volume that came in there was quite well absorbed. It didn't really lift the price very much. So it just kind of looks like as they bought, we stagnated. So any
Yeah.
good selling, and we'll probably start running down. There is one seller you sold through 370. I wouldn't be shocked if they squeezed to 370 or reoffer to that seller to give them a chance to sell more. But I wouldn't be concerned with this position at all unless they buy through 370. Yeah,
I don't
look,
know,
there's
we're
your
sitting at
seller.
10 right now.
There's a
Yeah.
seller came in right there. So you have the value offering, a seller hit right there. Come on. I just need one good push on AMD here and we'd be doing real nice.
Here we go. Getting to 10. Ding.
Told
Bingo.
you.
Sold to some at 10.
Tesla's order book is reading very nicely right now today.
All right. I love Jared. Jared comes up with all these these phrases that you hardly ever hear. He's saying fixing the disconnected ranges, which means I believe it means sort of filling some of the gaps that have happened over the past.
All right, here we go.
Yeah, Jared has a great way of describing things.
Come on, let's sell this session low here, AMD. I need AMD to sell through session low right now. So we kind of sold down, found a buyer, and then we did that weak squeeze. If this buyer bails, I'm going to be good to go.
Apple's gone green on the day. I don't know if anybody's long Apple, but that's looking nice. Uber's been on a tear right from the open here. So if you've been trading Uber, oh, here we go with Tesla.
Look how pretty that order book looks. We can do this. Come on, man. Crack
Yes.
this thing.
Oh, awesome.
So one of the least enjoyable parts of being a range trader versus a momentum trader is holding for targets when you're really close to your targets. I mean, look at this thing. I'm just sitting here. I'm, maybe a quarter away from my target now. Now I'm up about $420 on this position. You know what I mean? Like
Nice.
it's it could just call it a day right now, but whatever.
Yeah, for sure. Here we go. We're getting
I'm still feeling
closer
pretty
to
good about this one.
$11.
So
Getting closer to $11 on these puts.
I'm hoping this thing rips down through 110. They're bringing in some orders
Nice,
underneath
Mike.
it, and we're really voided to the top side, so it does not look like we're going to bounce. It looks like we're going to drive this order.
Nice trade on Apple. Mike got a nice move on that one. I don't know where you got in, but Mike's long Apple here. Uber's continuing to put on the Ritz here.
You can see here my share quantity that I have on these, if you care.
I was thinking about watching Uber this morning too. Oh, well, big order just around 365 on Tesla right now. Getting a bit of a bounce here. I'm
Gosh,
running out of
that's
puts, so this has
insanely
been
good.
a
So
really good trade.
watch this. This is going to be so annoying. I should have known when my target put me just on the other side of 110. I'm gonna get stuck in a pullback here. That's gonna be very annoying.
Mike he says he chased it, should have got in earlier. It's always easy to say that when you look at the chart after. All right, Nvidia is finding a bit of a
We just found a buyer
bid.
on the ES and the NQ. Pretty aggressive, actually.
Yeah.
Started really popping the price good. 9:45. Did we have any news come in today and all that?
We just had jobless claims from what I can tell. There wasn't anything else
Yeah,
that
then that
was
was at
really
like 8:30,
notable.
right?
Yeah,
Oh.
exactly. Yeah, I comment in YouTube. I guess I didn't look at Tesla as being that risky. I really, when it started to break down, and I did some homework last night because that's I get up early enough in the morning. I don't have time to do homework, but I was looking at this 373 level that I had flagged, and kind of flagged it as
Come
a pretty
on.
significant area that it needed to hold. And when it started to, it popped up at the open, and then when it started to break down right away, I thought, you know what, this is probably a trade that's going to go south. So that's why I took the trade. And Tesla has been in a downtrend over the last couple of days here. So getting a bit of a bounce here on it.
Hey,
Still got
Brian,
lots of room, and I've only got a few options left. So
can you answer me a question? How do they know where I put my targets? Is this like a is this a
I know
thing?
it's the market gods.
Look how close I
They
got to
know
my first. Look how close I got
the
to my
market
target.
gods. The market gods are all knowing. Look at the cues. The cues are taking off here.
Yeah, they like jigging me out. They're gonna just pull up here. They're gonna try and freak me out and get me to come out of my position. I still feel like this is a solid short. I'm in from a great range. I think the order book's still a bit bearish on this one, and there's really not enough orders to the top side for AMD to go into a rally right now. So I think we're just relieving the pressure a little bit as they're trying to work 110. Even if you notice on this engulfing as it bought, the volume on it was fairly low considering what level we're at. So, but these go against me. It happens. Everyone in the BBT room sees this happen from time to time because I only run static targets. So sometimes we get really close and I end up getting squeezed out and taken out of a position. That's okay. I'm also still holding a position on Disney, and that one's working incredibly well right now. So I'm not too worried about it. Just annoyed. The target on AMD is actually 109.98. Like really, I should have just I knew when I threw this and I saw it was below 110 that I was going to end up having to work more for this position than I wanted to. I just unfortunately have a static rule. Unfortunately, I have a static rule set on how I manage my positions. I don't partial. So because it's for me, it's just not really worth it. What I found when I partialed, I just had to hold longer. You know what I mean? That's one of those things. Partialing feels good. It's a it's something that, trading is very uncomfortable. So one of the things we often say is you got to get comfortable with being uncomfortable in trading, because trading is very uncomfortable, right? So, and partialing is like one of those things you do to bring comfort to yourself, but it really doesn't bring you any money. Like, actually, it significantly reduces the amount of money you're going to make every single time you do it. You have to hold, every time you take half off, you have to hold twice as far to make the same amount of money. Right. So you really got to think about that. If you're going to, so what I found is, if for me to get 4R partialing, I'd have to hold for like 8R on average, or I could just go for 4R and just make 4R. So I kind of switched that out, and it's been real nice to me ever since. I've been doing it for about a year now, and it really, it takes a little to get used to, but it's quite enjoyable in the long run. Once you start seeing those targets hit and how fast they add up, it's cool. I don't use break evens either, unfortunately. Or fortunately. Because I'm a crazy boy. So, you guys could get me out of this position. If we get to 400 likes, I'll take this position off. I'd be willing to take it off for likes. Like, if y'all want to make me money right now, make Thor, you could influence my trading right now. If everyone in here, there's like, I think there's like 1,000 people watching in right here, right now, right? If we could get to like 1,000, if we could get to like 400 likes, I'll peel this position off right now. You could do it. You could make me money right now. It'd just be so generous of you. Don't tell them I'm not going to cut it. Anyway, but whatever,
Just I'm out of the rest of Tesla while you were talking there. That
Yeah, right
last
on.
flush, that was it. We seem to
Really
be
lovely.
accused. Yeah.
See, you know what? I can tell y'all care about me. I really do. See all of the likes coming in there? That's so friendly. It's not 400 though.
Pretty nice.
I mean, not that friendly. I tell you what, if they come in, I'll move my stop to like 111 and a quarter. I won't just take it off. I'll move my stop to 111 and a quarter. You too could make me money today, but am I going to share the profit? I'd like to, but with the number of people in here, and the very small amount of money I'm going to make, I don't think everyone in here wants a quarter. I think by the time I transacted it to you, and it probably wouldn't work out.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, come on, Diz. We're still holding Disney here. So basically, I'm running two trades right now. They're both shorts. They're both on 4-to-1 targets. Right, so they're both basically the same play. They're both R3 shorts. Both had relatively bearish books. Both of them were tech tickers I felt were, had a reason to sell. And funny enough, while the NQ is actually rallying a bit, both of these are managing to sell.
Same with Nvidia here. I'm looking at Nvidia possibility.
Like if I could get the Qs to sell right now, I'd be doing. I mean, AMD would be there already.
Maybe get a bit of a pullback here on Nvidia. Maybe we can get back to the VWAP on it.
Well, don't start getting too long. I haven't hit my targets yet. Don't start bottoming stuff on me. Dang it. Oh, we're close. 370. I love y'all. Y'all are fun. So what are y'all are looking at Nvidia now? So y'all can see I'm still holding AMD, right? And I'm still holding Diz. Total unrealized right now, looking pretty nice. So
Nvidia pulling back now. Its VWAP
does
is
it really?
126.30.
Hader Hassan in the YouTube chat said that Thor, my name pronunciation in Arabic means bull. Who knew? I mean, you did, but I mean,
knew?
I didn't. That's really cool.
In Arabic, I thought it was
Yeah.
a Norse name.
Yeah, well, it is, but in Arabic, it means bull. So Thor,
Okay,
in my,
so
that's dope.
bit of
I have a bull
I've
on my
taken a
arm.
long on Nvidia. I'm long Nvidia off the VWAP here. See if we can get a continuation move.
This guy long in tech tickers while I'm holding two techers short.
And it's okay. It's a bifurcated market the way I look at it.
I know. I love you. If I thought about the number of times you and I make money swinging in opposing directions in different, different areas, that's why the worst thing is when you're
Yeah.
doing it with Andrew, because he's so good at reading this stinking movement. All of a sudden, I'm like, I'm getting long and short in Nvidia, and he's like, I'm long Nvidia, and I was like, oh no. All my strategies seem to fall apart when Andrew's leveraging in.
I'm getting out of Nvidia. I don't like it actually. I think it's looks like it's going to roll over here. I think your short trade. Oh shit! Look at Tesla still
Tesla's beautiful,
dropping there.
man. You nailed Tesla. Like when you got into that, I was like, oh man. When I looked at the book on that thing, I was like, this thing looks like it
Yeah,
wants to go,
the
and
book
it
was
did. It looked really
the,
good.
yeah, the book was beautiful.
Come on, you stinker. We got we've got a buyer ahead of 110 right now that's also holding things up a little bit, but the volume's low. Like that's the thing. I'm not so like this buy here. This looks like an ignition, but the volume, it should have been much higher, like maybe like a 500,000 shares if this was going to be a really good ignition. So, and then when we pushed higher, our volume dropped, and now we've come back down with some volume on the sell. I think we're going to pop this bid. I just think they had to wait for the cues to get a little higher, so they can sell a little bit while they do it.
Keep the likes coming in, people. We're almost to 400. Make Thor sell.
We're so close.
Sell.
Make Thor sell. Make Thor sell. What it would be awesome is if we hit 400 likes, and right when it happened, it dropped and hit my target.
Just boom, just like that.
Hey, boss is in Chile. You made it already? That was fast. Really excited to see his next adventure.
Yeah.
All right, we're getting close, people. You can see right here, we're holding in here. We're super close. We've got two positions going now. We've got AMD almost at target, just teasing us here. Y'all won't. Oh, we just broke 400. Let's see what happens. Now that we broke 400, does it hit my target? I just like messing with it. Now, the target level is actually arbitrary. So I actually, because I got...
I thought you use
There you
pretty
go,
specific
people.
targets.
Thank you very much. I went ahead and took it off because we broke 400 as I promised. So it's going to hit me anyway, but I wanted everyone, since you contributed, I didn't want you to feel like I wasn't gonna do that. I still feel really but why not take it off? And while we're doing that, let's watch this one.
Well done, everybody.
Well done. So how
Well
can we
done.
get this one off? 500? Y'all, you could literally end my trading day. I won't take another trade after this. That would be, that'd be like 800 and something for me. That'd be a great day. I would, if you guys are hilarious. Okay, while we're talking about this, 50 push-ups. I already worked out this morning. Don't do this to me. So since you guys are really making me money, how can I help you make money? Would you like YouTube out there? Can I look at a ticker for you? Would you like me to look at the book on something for you? What can I do for you, Nate? Give me a ticker. Like how do we make it? We obviously called a beautiful Brian Lambo giveaway. I can't give away Lambo, but I can give away rides in the Lambo. But you have to come to Vancouver. And I technically don't have authority to do that, but I could try. Just see what happens.
Yeah, see what happens. That's okay. I've got the keys. Landry left me the keys before he left, so
okay, all right.
anybody that wants to
Andrew's
come
in
by.
Chile. And Brian needs someone to ride in a Lambo with him. So
yeah.
So
When
I'm
the
going.
cat's
Oh, I like
away.
it, Dalton. We're going to use my authority to go ahead and give away some Lambo. Andrew's watching this on YouTube right now, like, no.
He's down there. Wait, no, that's not why I gave you the Lambo.
Oh man, that's funny. That is funny. He says no.
Wow. Yeah, NVIDIA's really sort of selling off here. SPY is at low day. Interesting.
AMD hit target. Well, would have hit target, but anyway, it was nice. Thank you everybody for contributing to me making good money today. How's Disney doing? Are we making it here? We're getting so close.
Disney dog.
I'm feeling pretty good about this one. We still haven't even made it back to like the pre-market low on Disney. So I think we still got, or not pre-market. No, we cracked session low. Never mind. So I think we're doing good. I like how so someone was asking me where I found Disney from. So Disney had earnings yesterday and had a really big sell-off. So what I really wanted to watch on Disney was you can kind of see we had this indecision candle on the previous day. I wanted to offer them pull back to the 50 SMA and the low of those candles there to offer anyone who missed out on selling yesterday a chance to get in and sell. So at the open, we had this really look at all the volume on this very narrow bar, right? Really little bar for so much volume. For us VPA readers, that's a big anomaly, right? And then we had this really big move right to R3. And look how low the volume is for such a big move. So back-to-back anomalies, basically, right? So as soon as it found a seller when it reoffered premium here at this value area, that's why I tagged it short here. And I just ran my stop above 113 because the spread on Disney at the time was a little weird. So I wanted to give it a little room because I expected if this to work, I figured maybe we come all the way back down to these lows. Right. So I figured I wasn't going to have an issue with distance. You know what I mean? So I didn't want to get wicked out. So.
It was pretty choppy session right now. Tried to get a breakout going, but didn't happen. The SPY is now looking like it might actually break down.
Yeah, we never really. One thing I was looking for this morning for the ES and the NQ was I was looking for a liquidity grab at the open. You know what I mean? Like, one of the things I love so much, you guys will hear Brian talks a lot about his Rising Devil strategies he used to talk a lot about are his falling angels. And basically what you get to watch in there is a liquidity grab, right? If you've been selling, you get to watch them basically sweep the sell side. If they're buying, you get to watch them sweep the buy side, and you get to make a play on that. And that's kind of, I built a lot of my trading ideas actually around watching Brian do that over and over and over again for such a long time. So what I wanted to see on the ES is I wanted us to see us sell first to go find liquidity and then rally. But instead we just started rallying. So it kind of makes sense that we're selling now because we went up first, kind of always fits that.
Yeah. See what the SPY does here. It's trying to hold on to this 605 level.
The screen that shares into the YouTube, unfortunately, is not mine. But I know at times we have the ability to switch back around and stuff like that. Maybe I'll try and get that worked out sometime.
Wow,
Come
Tesla
on,
just
Disney.
continues to sink here.
What a great job on Tesla, man. So Tesla ended up being just a trending
still
breakdown. But the book just looked so bearish. And then notice, for those of you who are like in the BBT room, because you can see my screen actively, notice how when we sold, look how the volume came in. As we pulled back, look how it dropped and muted. And then as we sold again, look how that volume increased. Look, as we pulled back, the volume declined. I mean, this thing is just a straight lightning bolt, ABCD, high value gap, whatever you want to call it, right? It's doing it right now. Every pullback, low volume, every chance to sell met with selling. I mean, this thing just looks beautiful. Structurally, Tesla is just a gorgeous move to the downside. I mean, momentum trader's paradise. You could basically, what is that? The 9 and 20 averages it's probably pulling back to. I mean, It looks really nice.
Looking decent.
Looking decent. All right, we still hold dizzy. So the good news is the pressure's totally off on my day now after hitting AMD. You know what I mean? Now, no matter what happens with this Disney trade, I'm a winner. Because if I lose this trade, I'll stop trading for the day, and my goal is actually 3R. So one winner is actually over my goal for the day. So if Disney wins, well, now we're really talking. But at this point, I'm really not even concerned about it. Actually, I'm just, hopefully we'll make some more money. But at this point, I'm just going to kind of hang on here and see if, even if this rallies all the way out and stops me out, I'll leave this one on, because if you're looking at the order book to the top side looks quite lean. I don't see a lot that suggests this thing's ready to go into some big rally. So it might squeeze back to PDC and reoffer, the previous day's close for selling or something. But if it does, I'm still going to hang, because even if this goes all the way out, like whatever, I've already still made good money. So, Dira, I'll leave it on in that instance still, unless I'm not going to be able to close it by the end of the day. Right. So because my thing is I have kids. I'm sure you can relate. You know what I mean? So there's times when I have to go to a meeting or I have to go do something, and I just know I'm not going to be back in time, and I'm not going to be focused enough to make sure I get in and kill that position properly. And, so I'll go ahead and take that one off just because it's non-performing. But otherwise, I generically just leave them on. I run bracket orders like you can see here on DOS. So if it stops me out, it takes the target off. If it hits the target, it takes my stop off. So, normally at this point, if I wasn't hanging out with all you fine people at YouTube, this would just be the moment I would get up and just start doing other stuff with my day. I'd probably go out and hit the garden or something like that, or, start, just doing stuff around the house, hanging out with the wifey. You know what I mean? Because this is one of the great things about being a day trader is
that's a great thing.
Once you claim your pay for the day, you're done, right? Your work done. Time to go do life, kind of. And Andrew, I think, really embodies that for us on a regular basis. So, and I try and keep that in mind. You know what I mean? When I do this, it's like you get in a good spot. Yeah, you didn't get this job so that you could sit here all day, right? You got this job because you wanted to make some money and then go have some lobster with your
Do
buddy
his own
Brian
thing. Yep.
and move on.
There you go.
And Q's still buying. Q's still buying a little bit here,
Yeah, they came down and they bought it back up again.
right off the 50.
Nvidia's coming. Nvidia's coming back up here.
Thank you very much, by the way, everyone in YouTube, for all the lovely likes and participation in today's chat. You know, we've been trying to bring as much continuity and creativity to this as we can because we want to provide good material for you. So we appreciate y'all coming by and giving us your time. We know you can put it anywhere you want. So I'm glad you're hanging out with us and doing that. Thank you so much. We appreciate you. If you have a chance on your socials, you know, feel free to share them on your socials and let them know, you know, for this next week, you're going to be trading with the prophet of profit and, you know, and some bald guy. So, you know, and could be cool. So
Pretty cool. Nice. I see some of the people in YouTube have been trading PLTR. Nice grab on that one.
how did that look today, huh?
Jim, way to go, buddy.
Oh, yeah. Look at that move.
Yeah, PLTR rocked it. You had some other people trading Uber as well. Got a nice move on that one. We know that one popped up nicely.
On the PLTR right now, keep in mind, PLTR's generic ATR is about $5.50 a day. And its session low was right around $100, which means you're probably maxing out ATR right now. So if you're thinking about if you're holding a position, I would hold that position until you find a responsive seller. But as far as taking new positions on this one, you might want to hang off of that idea just because, you know, unless you're a really good momentum trader, obviously, because this thing is buying, but it looks like it's probably going to die at 107. The order book completely blanks out around 107, between 107 and 108, almost no ladder to bridge those two orders together. So more than likely, we're probably going to nose up into 107, find a little seller there, retest it, and that'll probably, if we have a reversal on PLTR, that would likely be the location. And that's a big if, though. This thing's been buying like crazy. So, you know, Brian reminds me all the time because I like to short stuff. He reminds me, don't short a strong stock. You know what I mean? So this is kind of one of those moments where, you know, if you're going to sell, you don't want to be the first one. Hang out on it. Let it get up here. If it bumps in and you find a really big seller, right, let it pull back. Watching the order book, I do it in two different ways, Ricardo. I do it first off using a tool called Bookmap, which is a visualization of the order book. And the other method I use is actually through DOS Trader Pro. For equities, DOS Trader Pro has an incredibly great DOM. They call it their level 2. And it's really, really nice. It has an order highlight feature in it you can utilize that really allows you to see where the larger orders are stacking up on the book. You know, and general thought being over time with volume, price moves to size, right? So if you can see where the size is and then you can see the volume, you can kind of get an idea of which direction short term we're going to be moving. So it really helps you out a lot. Those are my two favorites. But I really like Sierra Charts. Also has a visual DOM plus footprints. I mean, everybody's got some pretty cool DOMs that they offer that really help you visualize the order book. Yeah, you can trade futures with DOS.
Yeah, the Bookmap is great for seeing where the levels are. Really like that as a tool.
That was like Tesla for us today, man. When we were looking at Tesla, I was just like, this thing looks so weak. And it did. Someone in the YouTube chat is asking if my strategy is similar to Andrew's. I think I might be Andrew's polar opposite when it comes to trading, actually. But maybe Andrew and I are like a yin and a yang. Like he's my brother from another mother. But where he would climb a mountain for fun, I would lay on a warm beach for fun. You know what I mean? Like that's how opposite Andrew and I are. He's very high octane, super high personality, risk taker, and you can see that in his trading. It makes him very agile, but it makes him aggressive. He has a real like hard zest for life. That's almost, it's almost insatiable. I mean, you can see he's always out there, just striving for more and doing what he does. It's by many of his best qualities. And I'm literally the polar opposite. I would never do anything high risk. I've never even been skiing, so it's like,
The question is, would you lick a frog?
what was that?
Would you lick a frog?
More likely than
Take some
going and
pink
climbing
powder?
a mountain, probably, depending on the frog.
So I thought you were more of an adventurous guy. See you down at the beach all the time with the kids.
No, so what I learned from my horoscope is that my three signs are Cancer, Cancer, and Leo. So which that means is I present as a Leo, right? I'm very energetic, very forward appearing. When you see me, you meet me, I seem very extroverted, seem very fiery, but on the reality, I'm actually a water. I'm very, very calm, cool, very reserved, very deep. Don't really like doing any of those kind of crazy things. I'm just kind of come across that way personally, but actually, like, if you come to know me, I'm very, very introverted and tend to not do anything great.
Okay.
Like, never have I once even, like, they'll have the BBT party after hours. If you see me at one of those things in a club, it would be probably the first time in 30 years I've been to a club. I live in Florida.
All right. Yeah. Art just pointed out a pretty decent trade. Maybe he took it on OKLO. Was a 920 trade. It's one of our signature trades using the 9 and 20 EMA. So we had OKLO sort of coming up there from after a sell-off, got through the 9, hit the 20 and rejected it, pulled back. Sort of a classic rejection.
Daniel and YouTube, we don't talk too much on that particular topic, just as a practice, and I wouldn't know all the other states and to be able to compare it, but I would personally say living in Florida, yes. I definitely, since we don't have a state income tax, that certainly is quite helpful in that regard. But how that compares to others and like different incentives and stuff like that, I don't know. But it seems to work out pretty nicely. And Florida's a party. I mean, on top of all that. You ever notice, Brian,
Yeah, we did
anytime you watch funniest videos involving somebody doing something incredibly ridiculous, sometimes with an alligator, it involves someone from Florida?
You love your alligators.
Florida man.
We had a really good
Exactly.
meetup in Florida a couple of years ago. Met in
That was Fort
meet
Lauderdale.
in Fort Lauderdale. Yeah,
That was
I
a
think.
blast. We gotta do that again. If you can talk Andrew into it, I'll take you out. I know a lobster spot in Fort Lauderdale, and I'll take you to it. But you
Nice.
got to talk Andrew into doing a meetup down here.
Doing another one. Yeah, we have the big get together in Vancouver. We've been doing this. This is our second run at it. We learned some stuff from last year, how to improve it. It's going to be amazing.
Yeah, I'm really
But
excited. I'm going to be actually talking futures this time at it, so it'll be It'll be a lot of fun.
We also kind of run around the country sometimes, go to different places, tell people where we're coming, and get a bar, restaurant set up to meet up with people.
Yeah, my
Just
favorite part is the live trading. Anytime we do the live trading stuff, that is like I live for that. Like it's one of my like favorite things I do almost every year. It's it's just this one day basically a year where I get to hang out with all my trading buddies like all in the same room, and we're all just like, the synergy is just amazing, like between all the various people, everyone who's been trading by themselves for like a whole year, and now we're all hanging out together like, oh, this is what it feels
yeah,
like. Oh, it's wild, right?
yeah, yeah,
It's so much fun.
yeah. And we do that we'll be doing that in Vancouver, doing a live trading session. It's just kind of cool looking out over all the desks and seeing all these hundreds of people all hunched over their computers making
It's
trades.
great. I love it. So someone was asking comment on trading MES futures. I really love trading futures as a vehicle for trading. Everyone, there are certain trading systems that I think are easy conceptually, and then there's some that are like easy financially, and then a little bit of everything in between. Like I think like Jared and Brian and I see Artie do it. A lot of these folks use options in order to take advantage of certain market movements. And it's really brilliant and it works really well. That I feel like options, at least for me personally, has kind of like the higher barrier to entry knowledge wise. Like you got to put a little bit more time into the whole thing, because you have to make sure you're understanding like premium and the Greeks and all these other little things. Equities I feel like are fairly easy to understand, right, as far as positioning, how to get in and get out, but you got to have PDT or a cash account. Like the barrier to entry on those is actually a little bit less. Like with options, you can make a lot more money with a lot less using options, right? So, and then futures are
That's true.
almost kind of like the mid-level of that, right? Like they trade very similarly to an equity, but they have some of the premium and performance benefits of an option where it's a contract. It taxes as a contract, by the way. So the tax implications are also slightly different. But it allows you to take advantage of like a market movement, but you don't have to trade a stock to do it, but you also don't have to understand, decay, for instance, right? Which is like a big thing that a lot of retail traders who try to do options day trading, they pick the wrong, they don't do it right. And then they end up basically holding the position for 3 or 4 hours. By the time they close it out, it's worthless. You know what I mean? So you really got to know what you're doing on options. On futures, you just hold them and they settle for cash. So as long as it doesn't expire, which is normally like a month out or so, you're normally pretty okay. So in the Vancouver meetup, we're for those of you, if you haven't gotten tickets yet or you haven't came by, I'm actually going to do a full 1-hour webinar introducing futures to the community in a deeper way. So I highly encourage anyone who can come by and catch that, especially if you're in Vancouver, come by and check it out. It should be a pretty good presentation. I actually already turned it in for a review, which I thought was going to get me a gold star, and it didn't. So I'm a little disappointed.
Sweet. Looking forward to seeing that. AMD is breaking out, and Uber is back at high of day. Just be careful with AMD here. It is right at the VWAP 110.62, so probably expect some rejection here. Same with Tesla came back. See what Tesla books looks like right now. Still some big orders here at 365 and 360, 350.
All right. AMD's order book looks bearish right now to me.
Mm-hmm.
Someone was asking in the YouTube AMD's book. It actually looks bearish to me right now. I probably going to sell down to 110 here shortly, and looks like they've laddered it well to 109. I could see AMD going down another dollar from here pretty easily. We lean out again between 109 and like 108.50. So they'd have to work a little bit to build that book. But if you look above AMD, like above 111, there's no orders up there at all. So it really doesn't look like they want to rally this thing at all, at least not right now. If they are going to rally it, it's going to be later. Like, it would need to find a buyer here and chop around for a while. What do I mean by building the book? So the market makers are generically responsible for what you are seeing on the DOM when you're looking at your platform. All orders, everyone says every order has a buy and a sell. That is technically true, although technically inaccurate. There is a buy and a sell, but it's not always between two traders, right? If sometimes you sell, no one else buys it. Well, where does that share go? The market maker takes it, right? They accumulate that share into their inventory and they hold it to be distributed later, right? So the market maker is actually holding a quite large inventory, and there are many market makers. There's thousands of seats on the NYSE alone, right? And then there's DMMs and other types, right? So they're holding vast inventory. But before they will move in a direction, generically, they will put orders on in the direction that they want to go to. And we call this laddering the book, right? So you'll actually look down your level 2 and you'll see that they start putting large orders to the downside. Those are institutional targets. And then they ladder smaller orders in between. A lot of people mistake that for retail activity. It's not. It's all the market makers. We're so small, our volume. It really doesn't account like that. This is mostly all institutional and market traffic. So if you're paying attention to the book, like Brian and I were on that Tesla short he got in on, Tesla you might even looked at Tesla and said, man, this looks like a spot I'd expect to see buying. Well, Brian looked at it. He saw selling into a heavy book. There was no question for him. He was getting short, and this is one of those things where really paying attention to the market structure can really help you make decisions, especially if you're a momentum trader, but for anyone, but especially a momentum trader, seeing which direction the market maker is more inclined to move in will help you a lot.
We're rolling over in the market here. We see a big drop on the SPY and the Qs. Nvidia's rolling over again.
Mm-hmm. Come on,
Tesla's,
Disney. Anytime you want to, baby. We can do it. Still waiting. Where can you learn more about the book? So Bookmap specifically is a platform. It's an application. They have their own Discord. They have their own resource material on there. I also have a book that I put out, and I talk a lot about DOM and level 2 in my volume section of there. But there's lots of different ways you can look and find information. Actually, the first order book I ever read was by a guy named Humphrey Neal from the 20s. Because that's how I learned the original, the OG book, right? So it's pretty cool. Someone was asking real quick, and then maybe we'll start wrapping up. What was my biggest loss, and how did I deal with it? I think that's a tough one. So my biggest loss was actually blowing up an account. So my biggest loss was a multi-day bag hold that resulted in me losing around $5,000 on my first trading account that I had funded through CMEG. It was a very sad day. How did I deal with it? I cried. I crawled under my desk. I blamed everybody but myself. And then I got to work. Right. So the big thing I made a decision that at that point moving forward, I was no longer going to bag hold positions. I was just going. Actually, a buddy of mine said, "What's more important to you, making money or being right?" Right. So, and I decided being right. No, I wanted to start making money. So I changed what I did. And I actually started using a fixed risk model after that I've been using for about 4.5 years now. And so if you think about that, I can tell you right now at this moment, I can tell you the largest loss that I've taken over the past 4.5 years, which has been exactly 1 R. 2 years ago, that was $100. Now it's a couple $100 a trade. But I never lose more than 1 R, and I only use brackets to trade, and I don't move my stops. So at least I learned from it, right? So cool.
It's
I
important,
think
eh?
it is 10:30. So normally this is where we roll. We kind of I'm gonna roll out for the day. If we have any of the other folks want to come in here and hang with you till 11. Otherwise, I'm going to cut. I did want to say thank you again out there to the people in YouTube. I'm going to be here all next week. So hopefully everyone, if y'all had a fun time this morning and enjoyed the analytics and making money with the profit of profit like I did, you'll come by and hang out with us. And again, I appreciate all those likes
Yeah.
and the repartee. A lot of fun interacting with everybody today. And I'll look forward to seeing you all on tomorrow. Profit of profit. Much
Yeah.
love, brother. Hey, we make money
Yeah.
together. Who
Take care,
knew?
buddy.
Um,
We always
so,
do.
so we always do. I'll talk to you a little bit later, and I'll see everybody in the BBT room in
Okay.
30 minutes for Thursday mentoring. I'll see you soon.
Cheers, buddy. Thanks coming on. And Thor, always a different style of trading, but you don't have to copy anybody. So the great thing about BBT is we've got members that do all different things, moderators that do all different types of trades. Peter likes to Peter's favorite time to trade is right into the close. It's not mine, but just watching Tesla roll over here a bit. I usually like to grab those early movers. I seem to get the best range on those. Okay, so the market's not really, it really is trying to, the Q's has had a couple of runs at breaking out here, and each time it's kind of failed. So we're back, still up on the day on the Q's. The SPY is actually at low of day right now. Again, it's had a couple of efforts or a couple of tries at breaking out here, hasn't been able to do it. So we're very, very range bound today. NVIDIA looks like a sine wave chart. Just down, up, down, up. Tesla rolling over here again, lost the VWAP. Order book is still pretty bearish. There's no orders to the upside, and several orders here to the downside, large orders. And we talked about this yesterday a bit. You would think that these large orders, you would look at that and think, oh, that's going to be, there's buyers, they want to buy it, but so it shouldn't go down. But that's often not the case. We often gravitate to these orders. So not always, but sometimes. So I'm not in any trades right now. I just feel like we're kind of choppy. The only thing I could have traded, I guess, is Tesla. That rejection at S4, 168 would have been maybe a good area to go short. Okay, SPY and Q's bouncing again. What are some of the other trades we did here today? Andy, it doesn't say what what that chart is, but I'm guessing it could be AMD. No, no, 107. Don't know. Anyway, regardless, got a nice move on that. Maybe that what was that? That was PLTR. Okay, we had a few other people trading PLTR today. That was nice. OKLO is coming back up here after selling off. What's energy doing today? Energy's down a bit. OKLO. Let's take a look at the book on OKLO. See if there's a trade here. Not really. ARM is selling back off. Might be a bounce off the VWAP if we get to 165-ish. Still holding some PLTR. Nice. See what what's up. Okay, so PLTR has had a really nice run. It's it's used that 9 EMA a couple times for support. What I would say right now is the 9 EMA is really flattening out. So it did drop. The price did drop below there briefly. So I would watch. I mean, if we get a 920 on this, it could be a really nice trade for a 920. So you'd have to get a pullback to sort of 106.70. There's so much strength with PLTR. It's hard to believe it would do that, but Tesla's kind of making a move back here. But again, the order book, there are very little orders to the upside, which makes me suspicious. Not a lot of institutions are putting orders out there that expecting the price on Tesla to go up. Doesn't mean retail traders won't push it up, but hey, no worries, Michelle. Thank you for being here. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Not sure how to say your name. XUE. You. Thank you. Take a look at Meta. Meta's actually had a pretty decent day. Look at it's up like $13. That was kind of one I thought might be interesting. I've got 717 on my as resistance, but it looks like we're actually breaking out from yesterday's high right now on Meta. Was actually kind of thinking last night when I was looking at some trades here, I was actually thinking 717, 720 might not be a bad area to sell some upside calls, given the fact that it's tried to get through this 717 a couple of times and hasn't been able to. So keep an eye on this today. If it fails here again, I might just do a quick short call trade for Friday's close. So Abby, I see your smiling face there.
Yeah, because I just entered Meta right before I came online and you started talking about it, so I feel like we're on the same page.
Okay. So what have you, did you take Meta long? What trades did you take today?
I'm in Meta long
Anything?
right now. Entered a few minutes ago.
Nice.
So yeah, so far looking for this breakthrough of 718 ideally, and through 720. Let's see what happens. How about you? How's your
Yeah,
day been?
Tesla. Good. I had one, you really just need one good trade. I had one really good trade on Tesla
Yeah.
and don't want to have a few other trades that didn't really work out. But if you look at it again, look at Nvidia, it's just sideways action, a little bit of
Yeah.
rolling wave action. Um,
Yeah, Nvidia's been tricky, but great.
makes
You got
me
Tesla. I guess you got the drop from the open on Tesla, is that right?
yeah, yeah.
Nice. Nice work. I love it.
Makes
Yeah.
me think about going back over to the West Coast, doing some more surfing, just looking at that wave action.
That's awesome.
And that's what
Love
you should
that.
do. That's what you should do instead of going skiing at Whistler. You should go over to Vancouver Island, go over to the west side and rent a surfboard, do some surfing.
I love surfing, but I have a rule about that now. I don't surf if I have to wear a wetsuit. I'm just tired of that. Too cold.
I, I,
Too
I, I'm totally with you there. Yeah.
long. Oh
Yeah,
gosh.
big
Yeah.
drop. I don't know if we had it. There's no news. There's no news. There's no big news, sort of at least scheduled. Now that doesn't mean something isn't going on. That could be. I noticed early in the week we had a bunch of. We did have some Fed heads talking. They go out and hit the road, the speaker show, and do a bunch of. And they chat it up, and if one of them says something, might cause the market to move. But I'm just looking here to see if I can see anything else that might be coming up here.
Yeah, that was a bit of action.
We do have some auctions on some treasuries.
Mhm. Yeah, that was
The
interesting.
typical
Things just dropped.
the impact on those typically isn't very big. So yeah, that was an interesting drop.
Mhm.
And that did happen right at around 10:30.
Well, things seem kind of
What do
stable
we
right now.
got?
Back to normal
Yeah.
activity. Yeah.
OKLO is still looking like it's trying to make a move here through the View app, testing it a couple times.
Oh, yeah. Wow, that was a drop. Right
Yeah, it was
up
a
there.
big drop and then popped right back there.
Cool. Again, most of you guys trade all this exotic stuff, huh? Not for me.
Let's see what else is going
I'm
on.
curious
Yeah,
about
nothing.
I'm really curious about Tesla. I feel like it's done this big bearish hammer on a 5-minute chart. A new 5-minute low might be an entry for a continued move down. A slower
It
one, of course, later.
definitely, it definitely has some. It definitely has some orders to the downside. It definitely has a bearish looking book,
Yeah.
and it's really been selling off here. So,
Mhm. Yeah, I'll take
over
that.
the last couple of days. So trend is definitely to the downside.
Downside, and if it's truly bearish, my target later on in the day is 361.73. So let's see how truly bearish we can get on this thing. It's on its way now.
Yeah,
AMD
there
was
you go.
another interesting one.
There's a nice little leg through that order that was stacked there.
Yeah. There it
There is
goes.
yeah, you're right. There is a big order sitting just sort of just around 360, maybe just above it.
Mhm. Cool. I like these kinds of ones where if you can put them on and you have confidence on 361 or 360, you can just put those range orders and walk away for the day. Those are the nice trades.
Yeah,
So I don't like the look of Meta. There we go. Took the exit now. So yep, one little stop there. That's actually two stops. That was a second attempt on Meta. So two attempts on that so far today. And we're looking at this Tesla. Oh, what are you guys on YouTube thinking? Sunny, you're looking
yeah.
at
What's up with
NVIDIA.
Nvidia and absolutely nothing. It's just stuck right at it's just hanging around. It's not doing anything. Today is just consolidating, but it might break out
Mhm.
at some point during the day. But if you take a look at this chart here, it's kind of making a pennant. So you draw the lines at the top of the candles and you draw the lines at the bottom. It's trading into a very narrow range. So quite often you do get a break out of this range at some point, and it kind of looks like it's maybe trying to break to the downside here now.
Yeah.
The
Yeah,
Qs
the
are
line.
the Qs are threatening to go red here actually. So
Yeah. Weakness. I think there's an opportunity on AMD perhaps for a short. It's got a level at 109.62. It's rejecting that, pushing down. So there might be something there. Reverse ABCD kind of pattern. Something worth looking at.
AMD.
Break the low of the day. And then 108.65 is what I have for a target, a lower target. It's also an intraday level, just below 109, basically. That could be fun. Melanie's, yeah. Tesla reminds you of a rabid dog would just turn and bite.
Yeah,
Yep.
that is true.
Yeah. Yeah, guys, I think it is a tricky time to trade right now. Things are much slower and you have to adjust yourself to the pace of the
Yeah,
market compared to, an hour ago. You have to just get used to that feel. Can't react to every 1 minute candle at this stage.
no. Yeah, this 360 level on Tesla looks like 361 looks definitely looks doable. Low of day was
360.
363.18.
Mhm. There you go, guys. AMD did do that breakdown. Hope some of you got that. That'll be fun, just as we were talking about. And yeah, Tesla ideally breaks through this 364.50 area, then low of day, and then off we go. Fun, fun, fun. Oops. There we go. Apple's pretty much back to where it started. And I do have a level down there where it bounced off right at the open. So this could provide an opportunity. Yeah, there we go, Roy. You're into that, Apple.
Yeah, I'm short some Apple 227.50 puts. So
All right. Okay, yeah. You got plenty of good room on that. Nice.
yeah, I don't have them protected, which it should be okay.
You're going with tomorrow's expiry, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Cool. Yeah, Apple's in a very interesting place. It's an area of support right now. So it could either bounce off of here or well, could even break down from here, either way. But we know for now that it is a support area. You can see it right on the chart
Yeah.
there.
It's interesting. Qs went red on the day, and so is the IWM.
Ooh. Are we in a big bearish market, you think, Brian, for the next 4 years?
I don't think so. I mean, well, the economies seem to be doing pretty well. I don't think there's anything to really. I mean, you never know what kind of black swan event could happen, but
Yep. It's
everything
interesting
seems to be kind of.
the kind of
Yeah, go
volatility
ahead.
in the move getting it has that bearish market feel to it where it's extra volatile. So
Well,
I think
I think the issue is, we had such a great 2024. Well, there's a lot of stocks that are really extended and a quote, I guess you could say overpriced for on a traditional PE basis. I mean, if you look at let's look at like I was looking at ARM last night. Was it ARM? I think I was looking at one of these stocks. Was the PE on this stock is 275. Even the forward PE is 81. So you have to assume that there's a whole lot of growth to be able to justify that level of price to earnings. And now we're getting back to the F word fundamentals, but at some point valuations have to matter. Let's look at PLTR. I know PLTR is going to be crazy. Yeah, PE 571, forward PE 160. Like that's just, like I said, you only get those PEs if you really expect an incredible amount of growth. So
wow.
growth in earnings. But anyway, like I said, I don't want to get too deep in the woods on fundamentals, but I mean, this is this is where the market is. We're pretty richly priced. So and that's what we're seeing with some of these earnings is companies, people are looking, investors are looking for companies to blow it out of the water, not just beat and guide in line. So that's why you saw the reaction with ARM sold off, even though they did beat on top and bottom line, I believe. Just it just ran up so much, a little bit of profit taking. Tesla rolling over a bit here.
Yeah, I've got an eye on Tesla there. Yeah, interesting times, huh?
Yeah. Well, everybody's saying don't expect don't expect another 2024 kind of returns in 25.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. I think we all have this tendency to extrapolate linearly. What we just
Yes.
had, we just kind of it keeps happening, and it's just not how the world works. It's definitely not how the markets work. There we go. Apple broke the low of day just a moment ago as well. That is interesting. So far broke support, but let's see if it's a genuine breakout or a false breakout. Zach NZ wants to know if we will be streaming the Amazon earnings. Brian, do you know about that? Will we be streaming Amazon's earnings?
Yes, I believe we are. And if Carlos is on, maybe he could speak to that. But I believe we are going to be streaming that.
Awesome. Yep. Carlos just confirmed it. Cool. Thank you.
Yeah.
Nice. So what do we got moving here? Damn shame about Meta. It looked like it was in a good trend. Just topped out for a bit. Oh, well.
So maybe my selling 720 puts might for tomorrow might not be that bad. It's a little bit scary though, because Meta can move quite a bit, so you can get blown out of the water with that kind of trade, unless you have some shares to cover that option, or if you buy a higher price option to at least limit your upside.
Yeah, that's interesting. You put on that kind of trade. Now, I like the way you wrote that in your book and the options book about, being able to, try to profit on one option, but really protect yourself using another option at a different strike. And
Yeah,
nicely laid out. That's good stuff, guys. If you're interested in
thanks.
options, check out Brian's book. A really good read. Again, simple read and easy to understand, and very actionable stuff. So I like that one.
Thank you, man. Yeah, it's How to Trade Options. That's just the name of the book, How to Trade Options, on Amazon. Want to check it out?
Mhm.
So Tesla just kind of chopping along here. There is some orders down here, all the way down to 361. So we may go there. We are trying to hold at this. I would expect some pretty significant support right at low of day, which is
Yeah.
363.
Yep.
I
Right there.
suspect buyers will come in there, and short people that are short will probably cover there as well.
Mhm. Yep. Makes a lot of sense right there. And even right where it is now, just in this 365 area, obvious round number, and I even have a level just about there. So for now, in the last 10 minutes or so, it's just been struggling there for a bit. You can't tell that the buyers
Yeah,
are
not
taking
doing
over
much.
here, but they're holding it right there. And guys, on YouTube, what Brian was talking about a moment ago, that pennant on NVIDIA, you can see it, right? There's the tops, there's the bottoms, and you can kind of see it just getting tighter and tighter. And these sorts
It
of
just
things at
doesn't.
some point, they break somewhere, long or short, don't know, but
But it's just not moving.
you know, this is where you don't want to trade. Narendra on YouTube, these lines on my chart are the measured move lines. What I do is basically I measure the distance of the 8 a.m. candle on the 5-minute chart, and then I just draw lines up and down the chart at the same distance. That's all they are. There you go. Brendan got it. Thanks, Brendan. JJMA, yeah, the SPY. I haven't even looked at the SPY. I'm trading the Mag 7 and AMD. I'm back to that. I attempted trading this SPX options for the last couple of weeks. I discovered that it doesn't suit my temperament. I need to have a lot more patience. So it's just too much hard work, and the
Yeah,
results are
they're a little. They're pretty squirrely.
yeah, yeah, they are, and very tricky to read. So figured,
Yeah,
there's easier ways to make money in the market than going after those. Anyways, good experiment. Good to know. Yeah. I
yeah.
gotta say,
Tesla
Brian,
looking
best
like
feeling.
kind of breaking down here.
Yeah. Let's see. Break this recent low, ideally. Nice. Neat little pattern here on Tesla. What I'm seeing is nice big downtrend, then just a big pullback for a continued move down. You can see these wicks on these 5-minute candles, guys. It's just getting lower and lower. The highs are getting lower, on a generally bearish trend. So it's all bearish unless it puts in a serious double bottom or something of that nature, which for now doesn't really look too likely. So that's a neat kind of pattern.
All right, guys, I am going to drop off here. I'm going to have some grab some brekkie, and yeah. So hopefully we had some good trades today. Some people took Uber, people took PLTR. Got a couple nice breakouts on those. Hopefully, some people caught that short on Tesla at the open. That was a nice trade. But yeah, just be careful. Markets are very uncommitted today. Let's just say that there's just Qs are just sort of dropped into the red. They came back up. Now we're just slightly green. SPY has tested previous day's close, come back up a bit, but again, just no clear direction in the market. Just sort of choppy day. So join us later. We will be doing the Amazon earnings, so that'll be interesting to see what comes of that after the close today. Let's see what does Amazon look like on a daily? It's trading at near its upper end, so we'll see what happens, and then of course we'll have pretty good 3:30 we'll start, and we'll have a pretty good analysis of where the options market is pricing the move on Amazon. Jared will go over that, and we'll watch the action after the close. So, Abby, have a great rest of your day, or I guess no, you're going to go to bed soon.
Uh, we'll see. We'll see. I don't know. My trading just kind of stopped.
Okay. Take care, everybody. We'll talk to y'all later. Cheers.
Awesome. Thank you, Brian. Awesome stuff, guys. Brian's full of wisdom and knowledge and experience, so always great to listen to his opinions on things. Anyways, how are the rest of you guys here on YouTube doing today? Having fun yet? Art, yes, I'm in Dubai. That's right. It's the weekend. No, it's not the weekend. It's Thursday. The weekend is Saturday and Sunday. It's not the weekend yet. That begins tomorrow, if I'm not mistaken. All right, what are we looking at? So that's interesting, guys. You see that on Apple? We were talking about that a few minutes ago. So it did do a breakout, but then it turns out to be a false breakout. And this is the reason I actually prefer not to trade breakouts these days. So you would have entered as it was breaking the low of the day or breaking the level, and you might get some partials, and very quickly it's right back to where you got in from, and you're out of break even. So I prefer to wait for the breakouts to complete, and really complete a retest of the breakout area and then go. So it's a much slower trading style. I find I get a higher win rate with that. But again, that's just me. If you have a good ability to read breakouts, then by all means get them, because they can go pretty fast when they're good. But there it is. That's one. And we had the same sort of thing on AMD again, right? We were talking about AMD a little while ago. It did break the low of day, but came right back, and now it's looking like it wants to go up. So yeah, you got to watch these things. And here's something that keeps kind of looking at me right now is Google. Now it is a disaster, right? Great big mess, but generally it's in an uptrend. You can kind of draw these upward channels if you like. I'm seeing these lows getting higher and higher and higher. So talk about trend trading. This is really complicated trend trading, but I can see how some people would see this. I'm certainly seeing it. I don't see a way to get involved in this. It's too risky. But you get the feel for it, right? Our nation kick out. Thank you. Zach NZ, yeah, it took 2 stops on Meta. One was a full stop, the other was a pretty tight stop. So nothing unusual. You always win some, lose some. And let's see if anything else really makes any sense. Oh man, I get this question every day. Sid, yes, I do pay taxes. Being an American citizen, you have to pay taxes on any income globally. So yeah. Anyone else here got questions about this triangle, this pennant on NVIDIA? It's kind of telling you don't touch me. It's also telling you it's going to explosively break out at some point, ideally right at the pinpoint of this pennant, but there's no ideal situation in the market really. But now Tesla wants to have a go. Let's see. See these wicks? They're just getting lower. Even this most recent wick on Tesla got lower. This is interesting. I like it for a trend, but it does have support underneath. So let's see if it can truly go. Now, for now, it's a big struggle. But you can see the bears are still very much in charge. You don't see the bulls taking over anytime soon. They're trying, but obviously not enough. Wesley, Puerto Rico. I'd like to go to Puerto Rico. Yeah, they have an arrangement, right? It's 4% taxes if you establish yourself as a Puerto Rican resident, I think. Or you start a business there and legally establish your business there. I don't even know. Something like that. Oh well. Has anyone been to Puerto Rico? Is the surf any good? I heard it's good. No wetsuit. Okay, so Apple, remember this false breakout thing? You can trade this thing too. Again, another trade style I used to incorporate was a false breakout. Once it is a false breakout, once it's back inside, it tests the level from the inside, and you go long, and you're going right back into the range. So it's another style of trading if you're curious. Again, I've done this for a long time, very successfully. I used to look at 30-minute charts, identify a range, and then trade false breakouts on a 1-minute chart. So would it look like this? See breakout, comes back in, and it bounces off the bottom, and the real bounce was this bullish candle, and then another bullish candle even. I mean, the next high is your entry. Your stop is right below, and you're in it. I used to do that. False breakouts are very powerful. I can never tell if it's going to be a genuine breakout or a false breakout, so I don't bother with breakouts anymore. But there it is. It's a good way to trade also. Again, very important to establish your trade book and have your rules really well defined. And that should keep you out of the market 95% of the time. Riley, Joe, you don't mind relocating to Puerto Rico? Yeah. As long as you're not there during hurricanes, most of the year is pretty good, I think. But again, I don't know. I've never been there. There we go. Tax exemptions and all. Anyways, guys, I should let you know I don't know anything about taxes and stuff. I don't even do my own taxes. It's just a world of complexity I don't want to involve myself in. So, there's professionals for everything, right? Let them do that. We're here to day trade or trade at least. Let's get good at this, yeah. RLW, how do you stay so chill? RLW, you have no idea how much rage is inside me. You have no idea. Yeah, you got to get it out. Whatever energy, adrenaline, all that. I'm into all kinds of activities and heavy music and lots of physical activity and all kinds of stuff. Just get it out. So when you come to trade, there isn't anything left in you to get angry about. You can't even get angry. Put it on a routine. Take care of your life, balanced lifestyle, that stuff. Very healthy, good stuff. And then when you trade, you'll trade better. Your head works better. You're more emotionally stable. And I put all this stuff in the course in Trading Terminal. Check that out if you like. But it's all in there. It's a matter of, there's a whole module there on how to be a trader. One is trading, but then how to be a trader. How do you take care of the trader? That's 90% of the work that you got to do. Trading is just, a little bit, just a few candlesticks really. So that's the bigger part of it. That's why I made it such a big module. That's probably the heaviest section of the course I got out there. So if you're curious, check it out, Trading Terminal.
All right. Good morning, Avi. How you doing, man?
Hey Carlos, I'm good. How you doing?
Doing good. Can't complain. More like good evening. I
Good.
see Brian is locked in, looking at a trade there. He's probably going
Oh, there
long
you
meta.
I love it.
No, so I see those comments in chat. But no, oh, we know what we forgot to do? I gotta remember this every time. Disconnect from the chat room so Thor could do his thing. All right,
All
chat.
right.
Goodbye. We'll continue here on YouTube. All right. That is disconnected. Perfect. Okay. All right. Excellent. Um, and then, yeah, so what happens is when you see someone freeze like that, it's not that they're frozen, obviously. But what happens is when you disconnect, the system just takes your last picture as like the camera, right? So anytime anybody disconnects their camera, that's the last picture is what you're going to see. So
Mhm.
that's what happens.
There you go. It's
We'll
pretty
get him
funny
out of the
though.
way in a second. Yeah, it is funny. Yeah.
He's not actually frozen. You're like, he
Yeah, and
freaked
actually
out.
frozen. He's long gone.
We don't do that in BBT.
Yeah, we're not that mean. All right, let's take a look here. Let's get Brian to relax a little bit. There we go. So Brian now can rest a little bit. He can go back to having some breakfast. I think is what he does now. So early in California. All right, man. What are we looking at? I see you have Apple up this morning.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I'm looking at the usual Mag 7 stuff. Took a couple of stabs at Meta earlier. Nothing worked yet. Still early in the day for me. But yeah, we were talking about how Apple got the 8 a.m. line, bounced right off it, came to it, false breakout, and right back in. You can kind of watch the price action. There's a trade book there for a false breakout trade, just discussing that stuff. Anyways, how did you do today? What you into?
Today, great man, great. I actually took the short with AMD, not with Thor. I know Thor took it much earlier. I took on the loss of VWAP, so I had the short on AMD today. I had a freaking long in Nvidia, and I'm actually still in some of this, so we'll see how that goes. Usually
All
I'm done
right.
by now, but I got a little bit of shares. Like I partial out. How do you don't partial? You hold everything, Abby, right? You hold everything to your target.
Pretty
I
much,
believe.
yeah.
Yeah, I don't do that. I wish I could. I think I'll be more profitable, but I partial a lot, similar to Andrew. So again, I'm in Nvidia for off the VWAP as well. So two VWAP plays today. No 5 minutes ORB for me this morning. So not bad. So yeah, we'll see how Nvidia does here.
Nice. Nvidia, wow. It's a great job surviving that. It just looks so tricky. Just a
It,
mess.
it, it looks messy. I did get stopped out twice before, full disclaimer, and this will probably get me break even on this trade. AMD was wonderful, but again, I'm hoping now that you see how we see those out that first hour chop, and then we get going. I'm hopefully now this can go towards the high of the day. Let's see. So we'll see how it goes. Uh, Question on Fubo. Fubo, I signed up for these guys, by the way, to get Bloomberg TV, and because I was trying to see, the best way to get a lot of news channels. This streaming stuff, man, they got to figure it out. It is so difficult. Fubo has Bloomberg TV, and it's like $85 to get that package. So I pay $85 to just get one channel. It doesn't make sense to me, because Verizon doesn't have it. I have Verizon, so they got to figure something out. We got to go back to simple cable companies where I could just add a channel to my cable company, but all these different streaming services, it's just ridiculous. Way too much.
Carlos, you're wasting time with all that. Just buy stuff on Temu, you'll be fine. You won't miss it.
Yeah, right. Don't waste time watching Bloomberg or CNN or whatever. Yeah, I
Yeah.
agree, man. I better buy quick before they get hit with, like, I think it's 30%. Let's look at PDD here. I think it's 30% that they're going to be seeing, because it's not just the tariff, but they're also being charged some other duties and fees. They were skipping a lot. These Temu products into the U.S. were skipping a tons of fees because they were under $800. So now it's a bunch of stuff. They're going to get the tariffs, plus they're going to get duties and fees coming into the U.S., which somehow they were bypassing. I don't know how. So we'll see. We'll see how that does for their business. Um, but yeah, I'm gonna buy something before it gets too crazy. I will buy something and show you guys. I don't know yet, but I'll find something there.
Leather jacket, leather jacket.
I should get a leather jacket. Bring it to Vancouver if it gets here in time. Yeah, I'm gonna do that.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Oh man. Look at this, guys. I was looking at Microsoft a minute ago on a 5-minute chart. Pretty neat looking ABCD pattern with the bottoms getting higher again. That's an indication that the buyers are stepping up their bids.
Look
So
at
it's a good
Microsoft,
bullish
man.
signal. Got that bit
Yeah.
of a W pattern. And there's a really good course on this in our BBT Education Center. Eamon did a webinar on this a few years ago. It just talks about this precisely with the W pattern in the ABCD pattern and the highs, the lows getting higher. And what a great setup that is, high probability setup for a move. And yeah, sure enough, if you picked it up there 30 minutes ago, you're already looking good. Now likely to break out the high of day, and there's a target up there. So there you go. All the stuff is in the education center, so come check that out. Really, I learned the majority of what I know from there, and then it's just a matter of applying it and having a support system, community, all that fun stuff. So really good. Tesla as well now, double bottom. There you go. Look at that, looking bullish. It was bearish, but this is a higher low, big double bottom, and I saw it earlier. I may have entered halfway through the big white candle. Let's see, it'll provide another entry as well. So the market is a gold mine, full of opportunities, guys.
If you're able to find what you're good at and do it consistently, man, it is awesome.
Yes.
Yes, I am. I grew up in New York. Yeah, so I'm from the NYC. I think when parents first got here, we lived in the Bronx for a little bit, and then in Manhattan. So we were uptown Manhattan, Washington Heights, and now I'm in Jersey. So yeah, I got the New York accent, of course. Been here in this area of my life, so absolutely. Nvidia, come on, don't do that. Let's go to 127.
And yeah.
Good question in chat. How do we distinguish from between double bottom and reverse ABCD pattern? They're very different. No, I could see some setting up where it could look very close to a reverse ABCD pattern. I could see that, but and there's no right or wrong. You could have both. I think in some cases you might be able to have both. So, yeah, let's. What do you think? Do we have an example today of one? Do you have an example of one, Adam, in chat that you can give us? We'll look at it. And I'll look for
I'm
one
seeing
too.
right here if you want to see it on Tesla. I can see
Yeah.
one that could both ways. Earlier we were saying, it came down, pulled up, rejecting the level. You could call this a reverse ABCD pattern until it closed this 5-minute candle. Once this candle closed, it put in a firm new low, which is higher than that first low. It closed bullish. This is no longer a reverse ABCD. This is more likely to become a double bottom. So if you are short in that ABCD, after this candle closes, I would abandon that trade, that position. Because this looks like now the bulls are taking charge. And this is the key candle right here, just because of the shape of the candle and the position of the candle. The low is higher than the previous one. It's at a key level. And yeah, so it's a bullish shape. So this is where if you're thinking about trading trading double bottoms, this is where you would start to get excited. If you're taking reverse ABCDs, you would have probably taken it a little earlier, probably 20 minutes before this double bottom with this candle, and then you'd be out of it. So yeah, you have it both set up. Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
because
But I can
that setup right there looks, again, if you look at a reverse ABCD pattern, looks perfect. And I think this point that you're explaining now could be the difference between whether it's going to go up or down. You just got to have your risk management. But the setup, it looks like a reverse ABCD pattern, But yeah, this point, this area here is going to be important. The next few candles and what the story is going to tell you. Are we going to look to make a new high, higher highs, higher lows pattern, or are we going to go back to towards that the low of the day? So yeah, you know what? This is a great example. Let's look at this. I mean, I don't trade this personally, but clearly this is I could see a great question, Adam. I could see how we can set up us both ways here. Never looked at it like that.
This is pretty good. I can give you a counter example too, guys, real quick. Microsoft, we were just talking about the ABCD pattern, but it just made a new high just a moment ago above the previous high. So this is invalid as a double top because the second high is higher than the first. So you can still see the bulls are still in charge. It's unlikely that the bears are taking over. So this one is still firmly an ABCD pattern, or maybe stagnation, but I would not short this as a double top. No way. So these are, a little bit of nuance that's in these patterns here. So, but yeah, let's see on Tesla. Now looks like it's pushing down. What would make this Tesla double bottom invalid and turn it back into a trend down is basically a new low, breaking the low, the way I would see this. Let's see.
One of my pet peeves in movies, as we wait for this to develop here, is the people that drink coffee. There's nothing in the cup. Like you could tell their movements are so, dude, that cup is empty. Like put water in it because you're moving it so easily. You're not moving it as it's hot, and they'll take a sip like this and immediately start talking. I take a sip of coffee. I can't talk to you for like the next 3 seconds. I need to swallow, right? So I hate that. It's so fake. Like don't do that in the movies, man. Directors got to get it together. Yeah, it pisses me off. G Profit of trades. Like, come on, just get the cup away. Don't do the cup if you're not gonna drink it for real. But yeah, all the time I catch that. It's so funny. So now that I mentioned, if you haven't caught that, now you're going to catch it. And this is kind of like the way the education center works, right? Once you know it, like you're showing me here, Javi, you're gonna catch it, right? So practice makes perfect. Definitely check out the education center on how to learn how to find and spot these ideas. So this one that Adam brought up, I'm pretty interested in because I never looked at something set up like this. So yeah, let's watch and see how this thing turns out.
And now, Carlos, I will never watch movies the same again.
You never noticed that? Oh man, I messed you up. I ruined you. I definitely did. It shows, movies. Shows more than movies. Movies, they take a little more attention to details, but shows all the time. All the time. So it's just so funny.
Oh man. All right.
See, I'm not alone. I'm not alone in this thought. A lot of people actually are saying that pet peeve. Yeah. A lot of people. There you go. It's like, why do that? Why just keep your hands down? But creates the scene. All right, so Tesla is moving down. Let's see if it's going to create a new low. So we're looking for a new low from 1015 or a new low from the consolidation area.
You see the new low from 1105. If it makes a new low there, that invalidates
From
the
that,
double bottom.
yeah,
It's just making a new low. Now you might be looking at a trend down or maybe just chop because it made a higher low than a new low. So now what are you going to do with it? So at least it would invalidate the long position. So you know that for the moment.
Yep. And I'm looking at the VWAP and I'm looking at the low of the day at 363. And this area here, this is a tough, and I think I mentioned to you guys before, this area here is so hard to trade because literally it can go in any direction here, long or short, right? So let's see what it does. But right now it's in that middle zone between the VWAP and the low of the day after it's made a really nice short play. Then went back to VWAP, gave it a nice reversal, right? Went down. Actually, let's look at your measure move since you have them up. Went down to the low of the day. Went to that measure move. That's a nice move there. That's almost near the VWAP as well. And then right back down close to the low of the day. So it gave you some really good moves. Here, it can go either direction. We can start seeing some support or we can start seeing some more weakness. We are down 3.5. So I would expect some support, especially after all the sell-off that Tesla's been doing. But, I'm not trying to have a bias going into this. So let's see.
And also there's that most likely move that happens more times than most other things happen is that it's just going to stay there. It's not going to go anywhere. So if it invalidates the double bottom, doesn't mean it's going to be a long. It could just get stuck there. So if you're getting contrary signals, well, that's most likely because it's now chopped. So that's actually the biggest part of the trade book. It keeps you out of the market 95% of the time. And money not lost is also counts in your P&L, right? So that's an important point right there. Big piece of my trading.
Guys, yesterday we had a great conversation. You guys might have seen it, but if you missed it with Spark Gamma, they were on yesterday with us, and it was actually pretty cool because we had an example that actually turned out to be really good. The one with what's the Apple that we did?
Was a spy going to the
Yeah,
level that I had, as well as Brent had the same area. So that was cool.
yeah. So that was
Yeah.
pretty cool. They give us a link I'm going to share with you guys. If you guys are interested in getting more information, you can check it out. And I think that link is going to have a deal, 50% off for the first month, and it expires this Friday. So definitely check it out. Those guys are great guys, man. I really like working with them. But yeah, check them out, see if the tool works for you. I think a month is more than enough to decide, hey, this is something that's gonna be useful for my strategy or not, right? And one more thing, something
Mhm.
that Brent mentioned yesterday was pretty right on, is that the tool is not a strategy, right? That's very important. You got to have your strategy, and that just doesn't go for spot gamma. It goes for almost anything out there. I mean, I could name thousands of different indicators and tools and this and that. The tools are not the strategy, right? You got to have your strategy, and then the tools got to help you confirm or better identify, what to do next as far as entering, staying out of the trade, seeing if this creates better possibilities for it to be a green trade if something looks like this instead of that. That's what the tools are for, right? Now, you don't want to have too many tools where everything's driving you crazy in all kinds of directions. Just find a couple of really good ones and just stick to those and then make changes slowly. I mean, basic stuff you guys already know, but it's always great as a reminder because sometimes our psychology messes us up, man. The minute we go through a losing streak, we start trying to revamp everything and figuring out the whole damn system when we just need to just get through that stretch, right? So be mindful of that.
Yeah, absolutely. You don't want to go too crazy when you're having a losing streak. You just gotta stick to your rules. Maybe step away for a few days. Don't go changing stuff around. That's for sure. But yeah, Spot Gamma was
Yeah,
very interesting. Definitely got my interest. So
yeah,
that was a fun conversation in the live market yesterday. That was the value of it. Really great.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So I'm seeing a lot of stagnation in the market right now. A lot of indecision and a possibility here with Meta. Um, oops. Let's see what am I seeing here. Meta's looking a bit like a double top that I like. There's a top, the lower one, nice arch in between. Wait for it to print a truly bearish candle. There may be a trade in there that I would like to take. Let's see. Let's get those measured moves all in the right place. I'm keeping an eye on that as well. Oops. And Tesla. So far, it even put in a third bottom, and that one's higher than the second one. So that's actually, the way I see it, more confirmation for the long. Do you trade
Yeah.
triple bottoms or double bottoms? Well, oh, yeah, double bottoms is it for me. I don't really do triple bottoms, but again, the whole
Yeah.
point here is you can see the bulls stepping their bids up. So far, they're in charge at the moment. They're not moving it up, but you can see that they got the pressure on.
There we go. My tray still hanging in here. Came pretty close to my my entry there, 126.40, but we're still hanging in here. So, but that last candle I thought was gonna stop me out. So let's see if we can get a move to 126 or just a new recent high now. I'll probably get everything out. We'll see where it goes. That's on Nvidia. Tesla double bottom in 5 minute. I mean, yeah, if you change the time frame, you're gonna see different bottoms. Like, you can see a double bottom here, because you got the big leg down, the back up to the VWAP. Then you got this area just consolidation right now. So I don't know if this is gonna even be a bottom. We'll see how it ends
Yeah.
up, right? So, um, let's
It'd
see how
just be
this
a big
goes.
sloppy mess, you know. You don't
Yeah,
even know.
just kind of stuck in the range. The high of this range is 366. And the low, you can probably say 364.73. I know you got to spike down to 363.87, but you can kind of consider it's a very tight range actually. Now that I think about it, let me show you guys here
It is.
quickly. Where's my charts over here? So here it is. So it's tight range. It's just kind of stuck there right now. So could go either way. No, YouTube. I do not want to renew my family plan. I had YouTube for a while. I was paying for it. It was pretty nice not getting the ads, but I don't watch YouTube enough. So besides the pre-market stuff, so don't renew. No. No.
I renewed the connection. Was it the TV thing, right? A TV subscription. Fubo.
Yeah, like it's so I was looking at I want to see Bloomberg, I want to see the C-SPAN channel, all these different news channels that just give you like, good information. They're all over the place. Like Bloomberg has its own Bloomberg thing for like $35. Fubo has Bloomberg. DirecTV has their own streaming service. I went through a bunch of them. I went through like 5 of them just looking to see who has the most TV channels together, and it's a mess. The streaming service, they got, this is not going to work for the consumer, man. They got to go back to, hey, here's your area. You get Time Warner Cable. Yeah, clearly I'm from New York. Time Warner Cable, or you get, DirecTV or Dish, and then you get all the channels you want. This streaming with all these different companies, it's not going to work, man. It was a bad idea. The only one that should be separate is Netflix. And Netflix, that's it. It's the only successful one. Netflix, you did your thing, the pioneer of all this stuff. Everybody else, get it together. And Disney is trying. Disney's trying to, I think they bought Fubo or something. So Disney's trying to get something like that going. Which, by the way, Disney recently had earnings, and they're doing better with their parks, but they're not doing great with the outlook, looks like. So the last couple of days, a downturn here on Disney. So we'll see how that plays out.
All right. I remember back in the day, it was just Hulu. That was the only one I had.
Oh,
Way
okay,
back.
okay, yeah, yeah,
Something. Then after that, I discovered Netflix. Oh, okay, cool.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Carlos, get IPTV. I don't know what that is, Matthew. I'll have to write it down and look it up. There's so many, man. But yeah, I want to have it because we're gonna be streaming when Jay Powell comes on. So last time we streamed Jay Powell here in the channel, it was through a Fubo TV, which looked pretty good. But then I found out that was like 720. They don't even give you 1080p or 4K. So it's like, wait a minute, it's a lot of little things you have to read into this that make a big difference. So yeah, I'll look into that. IPTV. I'll see what they got going on. Hey guys, you might just it might just be me, but I have noticed that when the bonds actions are coming up like 30 I can shoot 30 minutes before the main indices seem to stall and come back alive 15 after it's finished. US bonds now, I don't know much about that, so I'll have to look into it. I can't say I don't know the answer to that, and I haven't seen like a correlation or connection to it. Abby, I'm not sure if you have.
I have no bonds there. I have.
Yeah.
So we'll have to. Yeah, I'm sure somebody out there would know. Plenty of knowledge within BBT, within the community.
That's true. Yeah, there's a lot of people that watch bonds or trade bonds are involved, but yeah, I'm not sure. But if you're spotting something, if you're seeing something that happens often, not just do it in sim, right? Try to take trades in sim and try to see if you could find something that correlates and you can trade and make catch some opportunities on it. That'll be great, man. If you do, make a video, send it to us. So share it so we can join you on the party. Oh man, absolutely.
Awesome.
Absolutely. All right, NVIDIA. Just back and forth. My have me wait until 12 to do something here on NVIDIA.
Well, as long as it doesn't hit your stop out or your break even,
Yeah.
you're still in it.
Yep, still in it. A couple of partials already, so we'll see if we can get that. I have a level 127.26, which is where I got this from. This is pre-market high. Pre-market high, and then the high of the day is above that. So if I get the pre-market high and take another partial there, that would be awesome. That would be awesome. So let's see if we can get going.
Yeah, good patience on the move there. The only way I know how to hold these things for this long is to not watch it. If I watch it when I'm
Yeah,
in it,
yeah.
that's it.
I
So good job.
so let me let me ask you and also everybody else in chat because I'm curious about this. If you're in a trade, I know you do stop. If you're in a trade, you can walk away without watching it, like a day trade. Like you can walk away, put your stop, and not watch the trade.
Yeah, that's what I do most of the time.
Yeah.
That's how
Okay.
that's where my big
I
winners come from. As long as I don't mess
yeah.
with it, typically most of them run. It messes around, it goes 5R in your favor, you don't take a partial. You know, if you keep watching it like that, at least for me, I know I mess it all up.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
I I can't help myself, man. I gotta watch it. It's something about I don't know. Like even if I have my hard stop in it, like okay, I took some parts already. I have my hard stop in it, or even if I have like a lit like a range order, I've done that before. You put you're taking some parts already. You got a great entry, you got a cushion. I'll put a range order in, and I'll be getting coffee or something. So it's like okay, let's see how he's doing.
yeah.
How's it doing? I don't have to do anything. The orders are in, but let's just check how's it go. Okay, yes, I can see we're still there. It's I don't know, man.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
That's cool. To each their own, and yeah,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
just over.
It's just
Yeah.
automatically. Like I'll just be there having a conversation, ordering my stuff, and as I'm waiting, just automatically put up and see. Okay, that's what's happening. So it's just weird that way.
Yeah, fair enough.
Abby, what did you get from the conversation with Spot Gamma yesterday? Any new ideas? Great question.
New ideas. Oh yeah, plenty of new ideas. The whole concept of the the derivative markets, the what do you call it? The options market actually moves the underlying. Now that is pretty shocking to me. That's new to me. I always thought it was the other way around. So I said that a couple of times yesterday, right, in the conversation. Like, really, Brent? The derivatives can actually impact the underlying, and it made sense. Like, yeah, because these guys are hedging big positions, they may need to buy or sell shares, and that's why. It's like, okay, now that's something to look at. And I think Jared does talk about this too from time to time in the options room in our BBT options room, but. It was interesting. Now, Brent's got this tool that he can use to kind of predict where the stock can go based on the options flow. And he's looking at the big options where there's a massive open interest, big players in the market, all that fun stuff. So it's not the small stuff. It's like where can it possibly go in a big perspective? Like where's the possible high today or the possible low today? And another thing that was interesting is there's an indicator for stability. We're talking about chop yesterday, right? But then he was saying it's not going to be choppy all day. And sure enough, during our conversation, the SPY went up and it hit a target that he had in mind, and I had the same target in mind. And so to be able to see those things, that's really cool. So I think that tool is really interesting. So those are some ideas kind of going in circles in my head right now. I'm trying to think, how can I incorporate that and maybe get more precise with my trading? So something to look at, right? Very, very fascinating.
Man, yeah, it was good. It's a very insightful. Um, and I guess and some of the terminology, like gets at great questions here. It could be a little bit overwhelming, but everything is like that when you're first starting out, especially options. Like you really gotta spend some time thinking here. Come on, Nvidia. So you hit 127. So we're making a new high, and it's just slams right back down. So it's struggling to get going here on Nvidia. We'll see. Yeah, that stability info was very, very good in my opinion. Nice, Yaka. Yaka Adventures, always in chat. Thank you. It says the same today, Abby. Okay. Anyone here already using Spot Gamma? Anybody already? Did you guys sign up? Did you guys you guys been using it before? Would love to see if anybody has more experience than we do using the tool. What did Tesla end up doing here? It's just still. Oh, I see. You have it up. Okay, so it's reversing.
Pushing.
It's it's pushing.
Triple bottom
Yeah.
kind of setup. And here's the thing, Carlos, you were mentioning about managing the trade or not watching it. Let's say I did take the double bottom long right about, right after the hammer candle, the second bottom. I would have freaked out when it came and made that third bottom. It would not have hit the
Yeah.
stop, but it would have gone past my break even. And then you're like, oh, should I cut it short? Should I not? What do I do? But whereas if I leave it alone, I have the stop in place and the target order at, I don't know, 370 perhaps. And it takes 3 hours to get there, and I have no idea what it's doing in between.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
that's the advantage of set and forget. Disadvantage is, of course, if you can't do that, you're gonna stress out not knowing. But um,
Yeah, yeah. And I think for
things.
me, it's more because I've been such a momentum trader. Like I'm done pretty fast, right? So I'd rarely have trades that just go on past like 2, 3 hours. Because the 5 minute RB, you're not gonna get a lot of that. You're gonna get like Tesla, great example right now you have up here. You got a beautiful 5 minute RB actually. I wish I would have caught this. Nice drop, right? And then that happens within an hour, so you're pretty much out, right? You usually don't get these things where they run up a whole bunch of times. At least for the way I take the 5 minute RB. So I guess that kind of I've been so used to that. And 5 minute RBs, guys, you got to watch it all the time. Like you cannot take your eyes off it because you need to be just paying attention to how volatility and everything else. But yeah, I could see on something like a double bottom like this, you get in, set and forget it, because it's gonna take time. Like it's gonna take a lot of time to get where it needs to get to. So yeah, I could see that. I could see that why that would be
Yep.
beneficial.
Yeah,
Um,
different styles, right?
yeah, yeah,
And there you go. Nvidia looking good for you now.
yeah, yeah. I'm looking. I'm holding here. I'm a hold to 127. I don't want to be greedy, but I got 127, 58, which is the high of the pre-market. So the 126, what is this? 126, 27 and a half here. That was the original high of the pre-market when we did levels together. And then right before the open, we had this pop to 127.58. So technically, that's the high of the pre-market. I'm gonna hold for that if we could get there. So let's see. All right. Gonna take a
Nice.
partial up here.
Nice work.
See, I'm being patient like you, Avi, today. See, I'm practicing to be patient like Avi.
Great work.
Oh man.
Next thing we'll have you trading reversals next week.
I don't know about all of that, but yes, so we could try. You might have a better chance of having me order from Temu online, on live with you guys. Maybe we'll do that. We'll order live with you guys. We'll pick
Order
something
something.
together. Yeah, we'll pick something together here. Meta long. Now, no, I personally wouldn't see it long. I see this as reversing back to the VWAP, almost a double top on the 5 minute on Meta. So I'll be careful here
Yeah.
long. Yeah. I don't like getting long when things are going down, right? I need to, you got to build a bullish pattern here, an engulfing pattern or something. You got to build something that shows me the bleeding is stopping or slowing down. But these extreme V reversals, they're so difficult because for a V reversal, you really got to get in here. Like this is the entry right off the VWAP. That's your support. Um, but yeah, I just find that strategy tough.
You wouldn't want to go long anywhere here.
Yeah, I don't think it's a
It's
long. Yeah.
like-
Uh, Adam is short. I think I'm gonna get out of Nvidia. It's just playing too many games. I don't want it to come back down near my entry again like it did earlier. Let's see. Let's be patient. Let's be patient. Let's take it easy. Let's not look at it. Let me change the charts.
I changed the channel, yeah.
Let's see how long that works. I'm gonna start pulling my phone up and checking what's going on. Um, all right, you're
But
Adam Meta short from 717. Very nice, man. That's $3 move right now. So awesome. What's your target? What are you aiming for here? You're coming up against the VWAP. And Jasper AMD long. Let's take a look at AMD. I think AMD's is doing the same thing that Tesla did just a few minutes ago, right? It's just kind of going sideways now. So I think we just gotta wait and see, right? So it's just kind of stuck in this area right now. Let me see. How's your measure moves? Yeah, like look right in the middle of the measure moves. Before even looking at it, it looked like that, right? So it's kind of smack in the middle now. It's a tough trade, man. And
let
this
it go.
overall, this overall is a tough hour to trade, right? This 11 to 12. But things, they start settling out. Like I noticed a lot after 12, 12:05, 12:15. You start seeing some trend moves happen. things reversing back to the VWAP. So our job here is to keep you patient and wait for that good setup. Let's do that.
Yes. Sit and wait and relax. The good ones come to you.
Questions we have here. MWAP? What is that? Yaka, you mean VWAP? I think you're referring to moving averages, or do you see? Yeah, I'm not sure what MWAP is.
VWAP. Anchored VWAP. We got a question here from. Gosh, sorry, I can't even pronounce that. Anchored VWAP. Do you reference that? Well, not a lot of people here use anchored VWAP, but yeah, Brian Shannon does, and he did a presentation for us some time ago.
Yeah, great guy, man. Yeah. So he uses anchor VWAP. I don't. We did look at the differences. There were some slight differences between the anchor VWAP and not anchored. Again, I don't want to say that there's not much differences, because there is a difference, but you gotta try it. Try and put it against your strategy and see which one gives you the best outcome with the strategy you have. Again, this goes back to having these indicators, right? And some indicators are going to help you confirm better entries and exits. And I use the VWAP for me. I use it as a stop loss, right? So below the VWAP, in most cases, I want to be out. Above, I want to be in. So I use it a lot for my entries and stop loss and profit targets from doing a reversal, which I don't do a lot of. So you got to try it. I never tried the anchor VWAP, but I remember he was doing a presentation. So a lot of great information there, and also I just wouldn't know unless I tried it against my 5-minute ORB. So.
Yep, test it and back test it and see if it helps you with your style, basically.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, Brad is here. Hey, Brad, what's up? He's one of my mentees. He also lives here in Dubai.
Nice. Always great to see people in the chat that we know. It's awesome.
Yeah. We got Mustafa Rahimi. Yeah, TradingView does not have the 8 a.m. candle. Yep, I've heard a lot of people say that. So either get DOS, or I heard Yahoo Finance has it. I've heard.
TradingView doesn't have an 8 a.m. candle?
Yeah, not the way that we get it on DOS with the settlements and all.
Oh, they don't have the transactions that take place. Gotcha.
Yep.
Yeah, because you get the, yeah, okay. Yep. Oh, interesting. Yeah, see, DAS has that almost on every stock that's somewhat alive is gonna have that candle. So
something happened with Amazon, broke low of day and looking very aggressive.
Speaking of which, guys, Amazon today at 3:30 will be back for earnings. That should be a lot of fun. Who do we have? We have Amazon. There's a couple. Let me get the list here. I just had it up. See what our earnings look like for today. So we have Amazon, Affirm. We did Roblox already this morning. Peloton, Lily, and so tonight just Amazon and Affirm are the real two good ones that I like here. What is this microchip? Gotta find out what ticker that is. That could be interesting. But yeah, should be fun. So make sure to join us, guys. 3:30. I'm actually gonna do the link right now, so it's on YouTube, ready to go. And you guys can join us then. Should be a very interesting seeing what Amazon got for us.
Yes.
All right, here we go. Nvidia on its way, man. Amazon heading the other direction.
Told you, Carlos, it's great when you don't want it, right? You just target.
Just sit and wait. Yeah. I almost got out of it. You guys talked me out of not getting out of it, being patient. So yeah, here we go. It's doing good right now. I'm gonna try to get to 127.58, but I don't have enough patience to let it come back if it does. So we'll see.
But great job holding all that mess.
I held it through a lot. Now don't want to get too comfortable here. All right, let's see YouTube. Okay, yes, YouTube. We'll set up this link for you guys. Some questions here. Will you call on Amazon? Mini, if we're gonna be watching it live, yes, if that's what you meant. Yep. Another question here. Can you repeat your 8 a.m. candle strategy again? Yeah, it's a very simple one. You could do it, Avi. I think this
Yeah,
might be some new people that never heard it.
sure. Yeah. So 8 a.m. basically you draw the high and low of the 8 a.m. candle on the 5-minute chart. You measure that distance, and then you draw lines further up and further down on your chart at the same distance. That's it. Once the price gets there, then that's why I'm looking for a particular pattern, either a continuation or a reversal, either way. And I have specific nuances in the patterns I'm looking for. But as far as the candle is concerned, it's just measuring the distance and drawing lines at on your chart at the same distance, and that's where you take positions and even exit positions. That's it. Nice and simple.
You mentioned a good point too, that I did not know that there's some platforms that don't have that 8 a.m. candle is going to have transactions that DAS does include, right? DAS is very good at including those. But as we know, TradingView doesn't have those transactions. So just be aware that you got to have the right platform that can show you that. I'm sure that's not the only one. DAS does show it, but I guess there's some out there that don't, right? So be mindful of that.
Yep. For that. Power Nation Kickout wants to know, how is the working strategy after where you buy and sell? Well, the strategy that I'm using is basically I'm looking for candlestick patterns at these measured move lines. And some patterns tell me it's going to continue its move. Some patterns tell me it's going to reverse from that level. And some patterns, most of them actually tell me that it's just going to be choppy and messy and don't touch it. And again, so that in the Education Center, I put out that video recently, short video on the details of those patterns. But it does take, a few minutes to really dig into those. You have basically, you're looking for the price to change its behavior when it gets to the level. That's the theory behind it. You want to see who's taking over. Are the bulls continuing, or are the bears taking over? Or is it just a battlefield and you don't want to be in the middle of that? That's what the candlesticks will tell you. You can do the same thing looking at the tape. I just look at candlestick patterns, and then accordingly I decide to enter a position, and I know where to put the stop based on the price action, and I'm just targeting the next level up or down if it's a short position. Power Nation Kickout, that video is within our education center in BBT. I've got many videos in there, but there's a new one recently. I put out a short one. The other ones are longer, about an hour or so. Those are webinars. And yeah, so in our education center in BBT. And there you go now, Carlos. If you weren't watching NVIDIA, run.
I took a partial, but didn't get a lot. I took a partial. Let's see how good this goes, man. I'm gonna have to start trading around this time more often. This is where it's at. But to go back to your video here, here's one of them. Again, tons of information, guys. This is completely like free. This is literally like $1 to get access to all of this for a week. So come on in here. You can see everything that he's getting ready to talk about here in this video. And you'll get access to all of that. And then if I go back, let me show you our education center right over here, day trading. You can see there's still a bunch of stuff on here. So yeah, check it out. Pretty cool stuff.
Yep.
Pretty cool stuff like my NVIDIA trade. All right. Very nice. It's going here, and let's see how it's going to play out. All right, so let's see. What any other questions, guys? Thoughts on PLTR? PLTR is such a beast, guys. This stock is just, man, I love it. Love it. Look at this thing. I did not, for some reason, nobody talked about this morning. I mean, somebody might have brought it up, but I did not have it on my list. I don't know what happened. But yeah, I missed this one today. So my bad on that one. But man, look at this trading on this stock. So perfect 5-minute ORB, holds on to the 9 and the 5 moving average. Never really looks back until like about just an hour ago, 11. Gives you a decent pullback, which continues to hold, right? So yeah, just wild, man. Just wild.
Yeah. Nobody was talking about this. I guess the catalyst was a couple of days ago and already forgotten.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah.
Amazing. Wow. But yeah, we're seeing NVIDIA run up. We're seeing Tesla run
We're
up.
rocking. Mm-hmm. Yep.
So Tesla triple bottom, even a fourth bottom if you want to look at it, and then it goes. But would you have survived all that? Shit, I don't know if I would have. I mean, yeah, it wasn't a perfect setup, but there you go. Again, trading this time of the day is different, guys. It is slower. You cannot be reacting to every 1 minute candle. That'll drive you nuts if you're trying to do that. Yeah, so it's a different kind of attention span. Rahul, you want to know why 8 a.m., why not 8:05? You know what? You got to talk to Thor about that. He can talk to you about that all day. I learned it from him. But 8 a.m., as far as I understand, it's a settlement candle. It's when the market makers open for business and execute all the transactions that were pending overnight. And so it gets really jumpy, and it makes a really big candle. Turns out those levels get respected through the day. That's all I really know about it. And then just back testing on measured moves, it made sense. So here we are using it.
And you can see it, like if you ever watch it live at 8 a.m., put any stock out, Nvidia, Tesla, whichever stock you like. And if you watch it live at 8 a.m., you can see that it's just it just goes up and down. It just appears, right? There's no actual trading happening, but it's weird. You got to see it. It's if you've never seen it, it's pretty interesting the way it moves. And it happens like on every stock all at once. So
it's pretty cool to watch, yeah.
it is. I actually, some of those are not, the price doesn't actually move. I've been in trades at times where, I held overnight and I woke up early, back when I was doing stupid things as a trader, holding stuff overnight, bag holding. And then in the morning, I'll see those cans and I'll be freaking out. Like, oh man, am I going to get stopped out here? But even if you have a limit order, like it just skips it, right? The transaction's just being posted. You won't get filled. It's very weird. But yeah, I've been in those 10 situations for no reason. Yeah, much better now.
Imagine watching that and you're freaking out about your position. Oh my gosh.
Oh man, it's wild. It's wild. Like, what is happening? And then you look over to your P&L and it doesn't move. Your P&L doesn't move, right? Because it's not really moving the price. It's just transactions being recorded. So I guess that's why TradingView might not have it, and some other platforms might not have those transactions being recorded like DAS would, right? Which is important to have for this strategy, of course.
Yeah, absolutely. Fun. But yeah, there's no trading happening, and that's the big difference. I think a lot of guys don't know. It's just the transactions are just being posted to the market.
Yeah, yeah.
What we have here, so get Tesla went through the level. This is where I'd think about a retest of the area. Big consolidation went through, coming down to retest that zone 365, 367.50. And perhaps a push up from there. Interesting price action. Well, what are we Evan, your question about having a stop for half of your position on bigger size. So what are you saying? You're gonna go YOLO, put on a big position, put a stop in for only half of that. Is that what you're saying? Okay. If that's what you're saying, it sounds dangerous. Would be careful trying stuff like that.
Doesn't having a stop for half. First time I heard this question, Kevin. It just sounds like a partial.
Yeah.
Partial. All right, so wait. Let's be careful here, right? Because the way me and Avi are reading is that your stop, let's say your entry is, let's do Tesla, for example, that Avi has up here. Your entry, for example, is 368 right here where the price is at. So you're going to have a stop at 366 for just half and leave the other half naked, uncovered? Or are you saying that if you're going into profit, you're going to put a stop? Let's say you move up to 373, right? Let's say you go up to 373 on Tesla here. You're going to put a stop at 370 for half the profit, for half the position that's in profit already. That's more like a partial. But if you do it the other way, then yeah, that could be dangerous. Like 2% risk, but have two stops, 1.5 and half of that. Oh, okay. Yeah, see, okay, so I see it. Two stops, but at different risk. I don't know how well that could work out. There's be a lot of calculations to get the number of risks you actually want to risk. I don't know,
That's
Ken,
great.
but if you ever try it in sim first. Make sure you get the outcome that you're looking for, and then come back and fill us in how that worked out. But I never, never heard of someone doing it like that. I seen Andrew reduce risk, right? Like he'll be in a trade and he's like, okay, you know what? It's not going my way. He'll reduce his risk, but usually he's like right at break even. I seen that happen, but not like the way you're explaining it. So, but let us know, man. There's so many ways to do things in this market. It's unbelievable. So, I love that about the way the stocks work.
Yeah, it's interesting. Again, always do it risk-free, as in simulator, paper trading, all that stuff, and then find out. Interesting. Love that. Different ideas.
Yeah. Yep. All right, guys, we are all set here. Thank you for joining us this afternoon as we went through some pretty nice charts here. As things continue to move a little bit higher. Hopefully, my Nvidia trade continues to push here, pulling back a little bit. So we'll see how it ends. But Avi, always great being on with you, man. Have a great evening for you, and you guys over on YouTube. Have a great rest of your day.
Awesome. Thank you, Carlos. Thank you, everyone. You'll have a great day. Talk to you soon.
All right, cheers, guys.
Cheers.